Welcome into the live stream. I'm Superior Shelby. I am a 71% successful grant writer, and I'm so blessed that you have clicked on this live stream. If you are watching this live stream after I have recorded it, thank you so much for clicking on here, friend. That means you are looking for free money that you can use to start and scale your business, and you've possibly heard about grants before, or if you didn't, then that's okay, because in this video, I'm going to teach you what a small business grant is, how you can actually find them and access them, how to apply to them. And also, I'm going to show you some grants that you can apply to today. So come on into the live stream. Thanks so much for being with me. And I promise you, I'm going to do my best with not taking up too much of your time, but you are more than welcome to skim through this to get directly to the point, or you are welcome to watch the entire live stream. Sometimes I drop some good business startup gems that will truly motivate you to get started and kickstart your 2026. So, hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining me this morning. I'm so blessed to have you here per usual. I'm going to bring up on my screen some grants that we can apply to. And also, I'm going to tell you about what grants is. So first, let's actually talk about grants and how important they are. 2026 is literally right around the corner. And you can literally kickstart 2026 with over $10,000 in your business bank account. And if you are a startup and you have your LLC, your EIN, a business bank account, and you have like your website and stuff, then you are in perfect position to go for what's called grant funding. GRANT, small business grant funding. Grants is free rewards, usually in the form of money, that you can get from companies like Google, Nike, Sephora, Macy's, Tesla, right? These are Uber. These are places that you can get grants from, and they would give you money to start your business or to scale the business you already have that's in season. You can also get this free reward money from your state and local government. So let's say, for example, they may be giving out $10,000 to women entrepreneurs that live in Phoenix, Arizona, right? And as long as you are a woman entrepreneur that lives in Phoenix, Arizona, first come, first serve, you get $10,000. Well, that is actually funded through your state's taxes and also by other donations from some of the millionaires that live in that state, right? And also, you can get this free money from other like nonprofits and small business sectors, right? So, like the Small Business Development Center or whatever small business community that you have in your town that actually might want to give out some grants for small businesses in your local area to help you guys stay afloat. Mom and pop businesses are really, really detrimental in keeping them in business right now because you guys are consistently providing jobs for those who might not have things like a bachelor's degree or who might not be in tech, right? Things like that. So it's very important that your business flourishes, and this is why there will always be grant funding. Now, the small business grant funding that I talk about here on my YouTube channel is not federally funded. While there are some federally funded grant funding, those are for the big guys, okay? So you might have heard politically that Elon Musk and people like even Jeff Bezos, right? They in Ford, right? Ford and GM, those are American-based companies that get hundreds of millions of dollars from the US federal government in grant funding. And that's simply because they have the connections, right? They have the know-how, they have the people in place to make sure that they can get that type of federal funding. What I talk about on my channel here, and what I've been talking about for the last 6 years, is not about federal funding and how you can get like an SBA loan or anything like that. The reason why I don't talk about federal funding, friend, is simply because I don't want you to be, in a situation where things are not economically going right, and then they pull the federal funding from you. I am actually a living proof of that. Last year, I got approved to a $5 million grant for me to go to Africa and just to help with, the small business development over there. And because of what's going on politically and economically, and also because they pulled a lot of people from US aid, fortunately, I wasn't able to receive that funding from the $5 million. It literally was pulled back. So I will never, ever put you in a position where you would go for federal funding as an entrepreneur, and they would pull the money back simply because of what's going on economically and politically. So all the grants that I talk about on this YouTube channel is simply funded by companies and private sectors that truly want to see us small business owners win. Okay, cool. So now that you know what a grant is, free money, right? So to kickstart everything, right? So you can kickstart 2026. Imagine starting 2026 with like $10,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 to start your business or to scale what you have already done. Grant funding is simply easy to get. And I don't like the myth of, oh, it's hard to get grant funding. No, it's not. It's literally sometimes a thing where it's first come, first serve. You might have to pitch for it. So if you guys have seen Shark Tank, pitching, that's what they're doing, right? They're in front of Mark Cuban and Damon John and all these other great, entrepreneurs or sharks. And they would pitch their ideas to receive investment funds. Well, pitching is you essentially talking about exactly what your business does and how it is needed in the market and why you're so passionate about it, right? Why you? So you can either get it through a first come, first serve situation. You can get it through pitching. You can get grant funding through like an actual judgment. So this is when they are taking a look at the answers on your grant application. And what they do is they have like a grade point system. So let's say there's a total of 100 points you can get, and there's 10 questions, and you can get up to 10 points for each question. Well, if you're hitting 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, then that means you are the perfect candidate for this grant opportunity. And in most cases, you are the winner. Then you can also get this grant funding through like a random raffle, right? And we see that through like places like Pepsi. Sometimes Verizon does these things. AT&T, right? They do like a random raffle. They say, hey, we plan on giving out $1 million worth of small business grant funding. If you have an LLC, an EIN, and a business bank account, just go ahead and put in your business information here. We don't need much. You can tell us a little bit about your story, and we will randomly choose. So those are the 4 different ways you can actually win a grant. All right. So if you wanted to know what that back end looks like, that's what it looks like. There's 4 different judging ways that you can actually win a grant, right? And that's pretty much it. A first come, first serve. We saw this through the COVID relief funds, right? And any type of economic disaster or physical disaster, right? Or weather disaster, we see that. So as long as you have a business, let's say for those of you who were affected by the California wildfires, and you had a small business, well, they had, funding available for you to be able to get money. So, because you guys as businesses, just things happen, right? So that's a first come, first serve opportunity. Like I said, Pepsi, other companies, they might do like a random raffle. So they're not even judging you. They're not looking at your answers. They're just randomly choosing. And then you also have that judgment, right? Where it's like a point system, it's a grading system. And then you also have where they are, where it's like a thing where, what was it? I said, oh, pitching, right? So you have to pitch about your business, okay? So I've been doing a lot of pitching. I know I like barely was on YouTube last week, but I promise this week I will be on every day. So catch me every day this morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time, okay? Or 7 a.m. Central time, or super early in the morning if you're over there on the west side, okay? And I will be on here every day this week because last week I had a lot of pitching to do. And I can't wait to tell you guys what like my experience was. If you guys don't know, I'm the founder of Grantfully, which is the grant search engine that allows you to actually find grants and also a done for you service. And for just $30, you can have somebody submit a 1 grant application. Okay, so $30 per grant application. And right now I have been just building my community with over 100 people. And if you would like to be a part of that community, receive emails of at least free grants that you can apply to every week, join our weekly webinars, then you can always visit grantfully.org. I'll put it in the chat for you and also in the description if you're watching this afterwards. So that way you can get your free grant writing checklist and be prepared for this free money that you deserve, okay? So now, before I move forward, you know what a grant is. You know how they judge you. So I'm going to say hey to everybody in the chat, and then I'm going to move forward, okay? After I say hey to everybody in the chat, then we're going to move forward with how do you find these grants and how to actually submit grant applications, okay? So let me say hey to everybody. Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me. It's such a blessing to have you here. It's always a blessing to have you here. Keep in mind that grant funding, you truly deserve it. And honestly, I watched like this TikTok over the weekend, and it was with Mark Cuban having a conversation with, I forgot her name, but I actually absolutely love her. And so he was saying that, most startups right? The reason why they don't go for startup funding, they don't go for venture capital funding, or they simply don't go for grant funding. In addition to that, they don't even start their business is because they are afraid of receiving a no. Okay. So let's dive into that. Okay. I feel like that is absolutely true. The fear of the unknown is one thing that really holds people back in everything in life because you don't know, right? You simply don't know. You don't know what the next like steps are. Even with me being here in America, if you guys don't know, I actually live in Africa with my husband. So I've been here for about 3 weeks here in the US, spending holiday time with my family and all this good stuff, right? I've even noticed with my own family and their friends, right? We've had adult conversations and we've been able to, and I'm able to really, I'm very analytical. So I can read between the lines when we have a conversation. And I look at your body language, I look at the choice of words you say, and I also think look at the like I take in the tone of voice you have, right, when you are delivering your message or when you're speaking. And so I take all of that into consideration and I calculate exactly what you're actually saying. So I'm a person that you can speak to me and just say words, but I'm able to actually identify exactly what you're emotionally feeling. Not everybody knows how to communicate their feelings, so I'm so blessed to be able to have that type of discernment and gift. So one of those things that I noticed is that the fear of the unknown really holds a lot of people back. You guys have amazing ideas that can provide so many jobs for people and be so revolutionary. And matter of fact, can these innovative ideas of the way you plan on doing things differently from all of these other old companies that's been around for 30 plus years, like you guys have great ideas and it sucks that you're not actually putting your best foot forward or even prioritizing your business idea simply because of fear of the unknown. A lot of the times is you being afraid of how outstanding you'll be. Imagine that. You know that you becoming the most greatest version of yourself takes work. But you also have to choose your hard. And for you and for some people, choosing their hard is like actually not getting up and working out, not getting up and waking up and reading a book instead of actually scrolling through social media, or not searching for, problems, solutions that will help them with their problems of building their business. Entrepreneurs who actually become successful entrepreneurs, and I'll just say this, not talking about the Jeff Bezos or anyone like that. I'm talking about me and you, right? A person that you've seen me go from zero to hero, right? You have guys have seen me through this whole entire thing, right? I'm not a super mega millionaire at all. So I'm like, we are literally friends. And other women that you guys might follow on social media, right? That do these e-commerce stores and all kind of stuff. You know what makes them different from you is that they are actually prioritizing their business. Yes. And they are willing to put in the work. They understand that either you live the same cycle that you've been living, that's hard, or I might as well just put in the work and keep growing. Something I've also noticed, one of my family members, right, and this might be you, has a challenge with accepting growing pains. Growing pains is when you are growing mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially, you have to go through what's called growing pains. Growing pains can be you might have to spend a little bit more money because you're making more money, right? You have more responsibility. Growing pains could be now that you are growing, right? And you mentally know something now, you know that you can't revert back to doing those old things because it will put you in the consistent cycle. See, owning a business is way more like, I always say it's more spiritual than profits. It's more prayer than profits. And it's true, right? If you're a believer like myself, it is. But even if you're not a believer, right, and you are a logical person, it does take you to logically reason with yourself to keep pushing and to accept the growing pains. You must accept that, yes, you probably took a wrong step, but maybe that wasn't a wrong step. Sometimes you actually have to stumble across a stone in order for you to know that that is not the pathway you should be taking. You know what I'm saying, friend? Cool. So let me get to it. Hey, everybody. Hey, Valens. Thanks so much. Hello. Is it possible to apply for opportunity grants. Absolutely. We're going to talk about some in this live stream. Okay. So stick with me and make sure you share the live stream. For those of you who are coming in, if you don't mind, please like in the live stream. So that way the YouTube algorithm can share this information and you guys don't have to do all the hard work. The YouTube algorithm will work for us. Okay. So share, like the live stream, give it a thumbs up. So that way we can, get some more people in here and share this good information. All right. Hey, Tamala. Good morning. Thanks so much for being with me, friend. And I love and thank you so much. Appreciate you for your consistency of being here. Dennis, thanks so much. I appreciate your consistency for being here too. Tampa, the crafty queen. Hey, how are you? I'm actually in Tampa. So if you want to meet, I'm at the WeWork downtown. All right. In most cases. So we can always meet in person. Okay. So, and have a coffee. I love having coffee with my friends, which brings me while I'm in Tampa, I'm doing like a coffee thing, right? Where we can just meet together and have coffee. What I've been looking for also this week is a small business coffee. I found one woman, it's the sisters, and they are Black women and they own their own like coffee. So I was going to see if I can collaborate with them and we can taste their coffee and give them a review, right? So instead of us like ordering the usual Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks, let's actually support each other in the community, right? So yeah. It's coming. And I'll give you guys a date, okay? I promise you it's going to be before Thanksgiving, most likely this weekend. Who else do I have in here? Tricia, Remy, or Tricia. Hey, friend. Good morning. Thank you for this information. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks, love. Absolutely. I thank God that you are here. I pray that you are healthy and you are feeling good, friend. This information we are going to go through is going to be one for the books, okay? You guys don't forget to visit grantfully.org. Just put it on your phone. Once we get off this live stream, I would love for you to visit grantfully.org so you can get your free grant writing checklist and you can join me for Saturday's webinar, okay? My webinar on Saturday is going to be lit. Tamla says, are there any grants to help reestablish your nonprofit organization and help to start an LLC? So when you are going for grant funding, friend, it's very important that you actually use some of that money to reestablish your LLC and to get the reestablish your nonprofit and to also get an LLC. So for example, let's say your nonprofit is to help children, right? Your nonprofit is to help create a center for autism, like children who have autism. Well, you want to apply to grants that aligns with your nonprofit mission, and then you would actually use that money. And if they ask you, what would you use the money for? You would actually say, a small percent, let's say 5%, goes towards our regulatory fees. So regulatory fees mean paying for to reactivate your nonprofit, paying to set up your systems, right? So that way you can take in donations, paying to reactivate your website, all of those things. Regulatory fees, okay? That's a professional way to say it. You don't have to go into detail. You don't have to say, we lost our LLC. We didn't keep it active. We lost our nonprofit. You don't have to go that far, okay? Just, we're going to keep it very simple. Regulatory fees. There are fees and licenses and things like that we have to pay to keep ourselves active. Simple, okay? And this is how much it costs. So that's what you need to do. I would like your advice 101. Many people have been giving me wrong advice. I'm so sorry about that, Tamla. And I would love to give you 101 advice. My 101 consultations are $50 virtual. So if you would like to, you can visit superchargemybusiness.com. The link is in the description. You can tap my face somewhere in the description, should come up, and you can go directly there and just book a call. It says book a call. It's under grant calls. So we can just talk more. Okay. So it's there. All right. So let's say, Tricia says, do you teach the best way to word the grant just to get into the running? Absolutely. Actually, last week we talked about how I gave you guys some frameworks, right? Remember the Paris? Who was here last week? Earlier last week where we talked about the Paris framework, and I gave you guys the scorecard. So we talked about how to choose high probability grants. High probability grants is grants that actually align with your business or nonprofit's mission. So there's no way that this grant cannot be for you. You know what I mean? So after taking a look at the eligibility, who they're looking for, where are they located, or if it's location specific, right? And mission, right? So does your mission align with theirs, right? So we went over the scorecard last week. I can go over it again really quick today. And also Paris framework. So the Paris framework is literally, you go over the problem. So what's the problem and how you answer What's the problem with a percentage? So I'll go over that with you. An audience, right? And investment. The R was for results, right? So what's your traction? And the S is for like any miscellaneous. So what is your like what do you plan to do? Milestones and things like that, right? So we can go over that quickly today, friend, and you can like kind of screenshot. I have like some slideshows I can bring up here. And then you can screenshot it. And that's literally how I answer my grant answers, right? On the grant application. And that's how I became a 71% successful grant writer. So yeah, I'm giving you all of my frameworks. Wow, how do I get into that? Okay, yeah, visit grantfully.org. Let's see, what else are you guys saying? I'm so blessed to have you guys here. Let's see. Kingdom Business or Kingdom M, thank you so much for, or KM, sorry, thank you so much for being here. International Bucks. I like that. Thanks so much for being here, friend. You're such a blessing. And let's see here. It's a blessing that you're sharing this information. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Is the money for me not having the capital to support my company, but I want to help other people. I love that. And grants is perfect for you, right? Grants are very public impact driven. Let's see what else. Courtney. Hi, Courtney. Thanks so much for being here. Yes, Dave's Hirsch. Thanks so much for being here. I'm working on my MBE certification. Is there more grants out here for that? Grants, right? When you guys think about grants, don't think about going for grants that is like literally specific to what your problem is. I noticed that you guys do that. I'll explain it. So your problem is I need money for this. Your problem is I need to be able to buy a truck. Your problem is I want to open up my food truck. Your problem is I need money to be able to have booth rent for my new hair studio. You are not going to go for grants for your problem. That's not how this works. That's just one. That's the only, you as a startup and as an entrepreneur can only identify that one problem. You understand that kind of, when you're going for a grant just for only that problem, it really does limit you and limit the opportunities that you can actually go for. So it's important that you think about what your ultimate business mission is. What is the problem that your customers are having that your business is going to solve? And you find grants for that. And you use the grant money to help solve your business problems so that way you can provide jobs, so that way you can provide the service and be a solution to those who have that problem. So it's not, oh, I need money to help me with my MBE, or I need money to be able to help other people. While that sounds really great, it's also a vague answer. We'll talk about that in a minute. So when when they ask you, what would you do with this money? You will never tell them what your problem is. Instead, you would explain to them in detail exactly how you would use the money. It's important that you have like one of these notebooks and you are able to actually write down a list of exactly, or have it in your business plan. Really, you guys are supposed to have a business plan. And you need to have it in your business plan. Okay, if I get $100,000, 25% goes here, 25% goes there, 25% goes here, 25% goes there. You understand? And you need to also be able to articulate, like thoroughly explain to them that by you investing 25% in all four of these categories, right, it allows you to be impactful to your clients by helping them solve their problems, which will help in what way? That's how you that's how you not only professionally and properly set up your answer, but that is also how you become what's called like a forward thinker. Entrepreneurship is not just you get $10,000 and then you can fix this problem here, and then you get another $10,000. So because what you're doing is you are going into the pot, getting money, getting small money, then going fixing your problem, and then you're like, oh, but I need some more money, so you got to go back, and then it's like you're fixing that small problem, then you're like, oh, I need some more money. No, if you sit down, you do the numbers, and you know how impactful that by you investing this money into it, if you know exactly how that will be impactful, if you say that I need $100,000 out of this $100,000, I can put 50,000 into my marketing, and judging by me targeting this area and me also understanding that this percentage of people in this area have this problem, I should be able to make this with a 2% conversion rate. So the lowest of the low. With a 2% conversion rate of speaking to 1 million people in this area, I should be able to get this many clients and get at least bare minimum with the lowest amount that I'm selling my products for. I should at least make $30 from each of these people, which can result into 250,000. And out of that $250,000 that I make, those people that come back and they do surveys for my product, which I'm expecting, that's 5% of them. That 5% of people, I get to upsell them with a bundle deal. That is thinking about how that's making the dollar bill. Okay, that's what it means. So don't focus on what your ultimate problem is and say, can I get money to put myself through MBA school? Can I get money so that way I can be able to do this particular Christmas giveaway for my nonprofit? Can I get, what is the ultimate mission? Go for grants that are giving that money out for that reason. And they are most likely grants are going to give money out to what your ultimate business mission is. Do you have, and here's an example of a grant. Do you have a business that is in a tech industry, that let's say health tech, where you are going to create something, some type of innovation of how we intake patients' information? Do you have a business that does that? Simple. Not, oh, I have a business that is in health tech and we found a different way as a group of nurses of how we can actually organize people's information, and also how we can, how it will be easier to chart as nurses. But the problem is we don't have the money to be able to put in for the UI UX, or we don't have the money to put in for the development. So with that being said, we need money so we can hire our front end and back end developer. No, you tell them we are the business that has the health tech innovation you are looking for. And with this 100,000 or whatever you are offering, a percentage will go into our payroll, which is our front end and back end developer, who would actually develop this health tech solution that you are actually looking to fund. In addition to that, because we're so sustainable, we will also use the rest of the money into partnerships or whatever the case may be. Travel to go into different hospital groups to show them how innovative and how effective and efficient that this health tech system is. You see what I'm saying? I'm hoping you guys are getting it, because it's not a thing of, hey, can I get a grant so I can get a truck? No, you can get a grant because you are becoming the most reliable, effective, and efficient delivery service. You see how different that is? Hey, can I get a grant because can I get a grant for my for my daycare? No, you can get a grant because you are a Black-owned daycare in an urban or underserved area, and you are helping children develop, especially children with disabilities. You can get that. Do you do that? But as an entrepreneur, you have to be forward thinking already. And I understand you're probably saying, friend, nobody taught me this. I already know. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't. And that's why you're here on this live stream today, right? Because you're learning. And I'm so happy that you are staying with me, because this reassures you that the simple fact that you're even watching me and you stayed on here for this long, for at least 28 minutes, that means that you are really intrigued and you are willing to learn and you're willing to move forward. So small business grant funding, yes, you can kickstart 2026 with a whole new 100K in your business bank account. But there's a strategic way of how you get grants. I just don't like the myth of, oh, grants is not real. Grants are absolutely real. Every day on these live streams that we come on here, I show you guys different grants that we can go for, and I also show you the winners. I show you what's called proof of traction. And you can actually Google these places that give out money, like 15% pledge, Fearless Fund, a Pharrell's Black Ambition Prize. So you think Pharrell's just not giving out $1 million to Black-owned companies? He's just lying about it. He's actually been doing it since 2020, because he understood that, especially in the fashion industry, Black-owned companies have been affected economically by COVID. So he started the Black Ambition Prize, and he connected with other Black leaders. 15% pledge. The woman that sits on the executive board, she's also a part of the Obama Foundation. These people are not lying about giving out this money. It helps them out on taxes, of course, but they're also doing something that's very helpful to the community and economically. We are in such crazy times that you have over 300,000 people that actually lost their jobs and they were federal workers. While they're getting small incentives right now, it's literally nothing compared to what they were getting when they were actually going to work. And then you have TSA workers who are still working, people who are still working, right, for the federal government, and they're not getting paid. This is the perfect time for you to say, you know what? Let me be an entrepreneur. Why not? Choose my heart. Might as well bet on myself. I might as well bet on myself during these most crazy economic times. And why not kickstart my business with free funding that I don't even have to come out of my pocket? Because right now I'm really tight on money. But there's a way that you answer these questions. Getting grants is not hard. It's just how you actually answer the questions. And I'm here to teach you. Okay. All right. So if you guys need to know what you need to have before you actually go for grant funding, I highly advise that you visit what's called grantfully.org. Maybe I should write it down. Grantfully.org. So that way you can, I'll put in the chat, grantfully.org. So that way you can get your free grant writing checklist. Join us on the weekends for our weekly webinars, and you get a weekly grant list that you can apply to. So you're not even really searching hard because you get a weekly list of 5 grants that you can apply to. If you apply to 1 grant a day, that means you're applying to 365 grants a year. Out of the 365 grants, you got to win at least 10. Imagine winning 10 $100,000 grants. Wow. What a way to build your business. You can make as much money as you can. You could become a millionaire overnight. We've actually seen people through streaming Twitch and all kind of stuff become millionaires and all kind of these great, crazy things in these crazy technology times. But you still need to know how to manage it. So that's why answering these small business grant questions is very important, that you thoroughly think and forwardly think and actually dissect how you would use the money, because it starts to make you think, okay, so what's the worst case scenario? What can actually happen? What are the risks of me actually investing in these areas? And how do I plan to make sure that I don't, make any mistakes, because I can't afford mistakes. Okay. All right. So cool. That was a cool conversation. What are we saying? We're in the chat. Okay. Let's see. So true. This is spiritual. Yes, absolutely. Hey, I am Favor. Hey there, everyone. I want to join your team, please. Absolutely. Let's do it. Tampa, the crafty queen. I'm actually in Atlanta, but I'll send my Tampa crew your way. Absolutely. Okay. Send everyone to grantfully.org. Tell them to sign up, get their free grant writing checklist, so that way they can know what they need to have for grants. The grant writing checklist is literally a list of the basic business foundations that you need. For those of you who are joining, if you don't mind liking the live stream, I'll totally appreciate it. But just to let you know, you are not a startup if you didn't start the business. What do I mean by that? Okay, you are not a startup if you did not get your LLC, EIN, website, and a business bank account. You're simply what's called in the idea phases. There's levels to this. Did you guys know that? There's levels to this. So you have I'm gonna use books as an example. Okay. This small notebook is what you call the idea phases. You have a small notebook and you write down all of your ideas in it. You know what I mean? All of your ideas. This is what you call the idea phases. Idea phases. You have not committed. You do not have a business bank account. You do not have a business website. You do not have an EIN number, employer identification number. You don't have you haven't registered your company. So that means that you don't have a LLC. You don't have a limited partnership, right? So that's LLPs, or you don't have a INC or a C Corp, S Corp, right? This is idea phases. So the notebook, you're literally jotting down what you would do. You're jotting down different ideas. You're jotting down all of the possibilities. This is your dream idea book. Yeah, you. Go you, friend. You got the idea. You've been in it. You've been jotting down so many notes in here. You've watched so many YouTube videos. It's almost full. The problem is you haven't executed. The problem is you haven't committed. I understand. Because the reason why you haven't committed is simply because it's the fear of the unknown. You don't know what the work it takes for you to become a millionaire. You don't know how long it's going to take you to get there. And you don't know what it looks like to take responsibility and accountability in the customer service part of your business if some crazy stuff happens. If your payroll starts stealing from you, or if a customer steals from you, you're afraid of the risk. But you got to bet on yourself. This part is called the idea phases, the notebook. Let's move forward. This part is called the startup. Okay. If you guys don't know, I love this book. Alex Hormozi, shout out to you, $100 million offers. I've been reading it. If you guys wanted, like, I don't know, we can do like a free book club on me, like us reading it. Just go on Amazon and get it. No, I'm not an affiliate, but I should be. I'm not an affiliate, but I should be. So I'm going to figure out, Alex, I'm coming to you. Layla, tell Alex I'm coming because I'm going to be an affiliate because this book is awesome. But besides the book, this is the startup phases. Okay. This is where you have your LLC, EIN, website, business bank account, all of that stuff put together. You have officially committed. You have officially committed you are committed to the whole thing, friend. You in it to win it, Bennett. Okay. You have committed. You're no longer in the idea phases. You see how different the books are? You see how the different sizes? You see the difference? Idea phases. All of the small possibilities of what can happen. Then you're officially committed. You are officially committed. You see all this good, you see all this stuff? You have an actual what's called a business plan. You see what this looks like? This is all the information of how to. This is literally you doing it. This is you committing to it. This is what you call the small business phase. The small business phase is actually when you did the LLC, EIN, the website, you got the business bank account, and also, guess what? You're starting to make your first 1 to 100 sales. You saying, screw it, let me just focus on making the money. Something that Mark Cuban said. Mark Cuban actually said one of the things that really hurts small business owners is that they focus so much on the foundations and they focus so much on like everything else that has nothing to do with making money. I totally agree. Mark Cuban is one of my favorite entrepreneurs because he tells it like it is. And I feel like I'm like that too, but I'm more graceful of how I deliver my message. You know what I mean? I understand different tones get different results. So I totally agree with him. You guys are so focused on perfecting the branding, perfecting the logo, perfecting the website, perfecting this, and so focused on getting funding, when what you are actually doing is you are working backwards. If you actually get sales right now, then guess what? That puts you more in favor for any funding that you're going for, especially if you want to go for quick, fast, and a hurry funding like loans. I don't know about you, friend, but you cannot come and ask me for $10,000, $30,000, $50,000, $100,000, and I'm the bank. I got on blue and white. So let's say I'm JP Morgan Chase. You can't come to me and ask me for some money, and your business is not even, you haven't even got your first client. You haven't even sold anything. So how am I to know for a fact that you can pay this loan back? And once you sign this loan, you got 30 days to start paying me back, friend. So choose wisely. How are you to truly think that all business funding opportunities that you're going for are going to take your business ideas serious if you haven't even started making money? Mark Cuban is absolutely right. And I totally agree with what he said. You guys are so focused on doing everything else. And what you're doing is you're self-sabotaging your growth. How are you self-sabotaging your growth? Just like anything else, you're doing everything but the actual thing that you need to do that's going to help you grow, because you are truly deep down afraid of the fear of the unknown. I don't know why you are so afraid of you being the best version of yourself, but it is 2025. In the next 5 years, we are seeing people that are willing to take years to go from being 400 pounds to 150 pounds. People are really putting in the effort. Why can't you do the same? You know what I mean? It's time for you to accept transition in your life. And being an entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur is one of those greatest things for you, for your personal growth as well. Because you actually get to see where you was as idea to startup. You actually get to see yourself go from idea to startup. And it's so cool. And you start to think, dang, I remember this time last year, I was in my idea phases. And then I started watching Shelby and I started watching these TikToks that make sense. And I started joining these community groups and I started connecting with people and I started really putting my best foot forward. And I got like 50 clients. And now I'm in my startup phases and now I'm going for grants. And now I just got 100,000 and now I'm putting that 100,000 into great use. A lot can happen in a year. So kickstart 2026 with grants that can literally change your entire life just by you putting your best foot forward and prioritizing it. Now, after we get from small business, then we get to big, like business. You know what I mean? We're getting to business now. We're getting to business. We're getting to business. We're getting to business now. Like this ain't no joke. This book, like we talking about putting $40,000 into marketing. You understand? Our payroll at least $7,000 to $10,000 a month. We on a different level. You guys can actually get here. It's just that you really have to. You got to choose your heart, man. And this is what I say. I was having a conversation with I was having a conversation with one of my clients or whatever, and she's such an amazing woman, right? I love talking to her. And we were talking about like the whole, like, it was like a personal conversation as well. But this goes for especially my women, right? Not even just women, but everybody, but especially for my girls, okay? You know how like when we went through this whole thing of battle of the sexes where it was like black women this and black women that and black women are too masculine and black women blah 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 blah, right? Let me tell you something about being a strong person. Not just a woman, not just a man, a person, right? Being a strong person and showing strength is accepting growth. And being a strong person is accepting the hard things to do. You are a strong, independent person. You are a strong person that believes in yourself when you actually choose to do the hard things that you don't know how to do, but you're willing to go through it. You're willing to grow through it. So I was explaining to my client this weekend, and I was like, when you're having a conversation with and she was talking about like how her, the man that she loves, like, they're kind of like at odds right now. You guys know I'm married. I can't believe I'm giving marital advice, but okay, let's do it, right? Since we're here in the conversation. And this can go for business too. When you have like an irate client and this client is irritated, short mouth, like everything is like, this person, you can tell they're having a bad day. It's a thing of like having grace and choosing the heart of holding yourself back and being and petting them. In Nigeria, they call it petting. In other words, like literally not stroking their ego, but being nice, choosing to be nice always. If your partner, your business partner or your partner in life, right, is pissing you off, you come out being the stronger and what's called the bigger person by just being nice. Yes, in your mind, you're probably beating yourself up. You're probably like, God, dang it, blah, 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 blah. In your mind, you're probably that. But on the outside, you're saying, look, I understand you're upset. The choice of words that you are choosing, they're really hurting me. But I also understand you're upset. And I want to let you know that I'm here to be with you to grow through this. So let's actually sit down and really walk through what's really happening here. Because I think the challenge here is that we're not able to understand each other. We're not communicating our feelings because we are so passionate right now. And I think it's best that you tell me how you feel. I'm going to tell you how I feel. But however your tone, it's okay. But what I'm truly trying to get in this moment is what's the real problem? Because in our relationship, in our partnership, I don't want us to have to come through this problem again. I would rather us learn from it and continue to grow together. Because as business partners, if it's something that you don't like, And if it's something that you feel like you're not being heard as my partner, it's very important that I hear you. And it's very important that maybe in this moment, I give you a sense of advice, or I give you my logic reasoning on why we should actually invest in this way, or why we should take this step. But either way, I'm not going to down talk you. I'm not going to tell you and make you feel like you're stupid. I'm also not going to degrade you or any way. I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm not trying to purposely hurt your pride or ego. I want you to know that in this moment, you are being heard. And I'm going to take everything that you say, every word that you say into consideration. And then after I'm done hearing you, I hope that you would give me the same respect and explain and listen to the reasons for why I believe it's best that we take this route. You understand? When you become an effective communicator in that way, you get things done. You get things done a lot. As a woman, for all my ladies out there, that's what's called softness. That's what's called that's actually the feminism that was actually talking about that we don't have, because we are like, a lot of us are like barking, 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 because of like that feeling of having to defend and always being in survivor mode and always having to be aggressive and being aggressive simply because we're hyper independent because we have to. While we already know that, respectfully, while we already know that, I think it's best that as people, we just get past that narrative. We already know it. We could just get past that whole thing of, oh, I had to be independent, I had to be this, had to be. Let's just get past that. Let's actually focus on being the better versions of ourselves and actually effectively communicating better and allowing our children and allowing other people to see how this effective communication actually gets things done and how we can actually grow. This is something that is totally needed in business as well. It's needed in your personal life, but it's also needed in business as well. Because you guys may come across like having to have a partnership. And this is also why I noticed that you guys don't want to go for investment capital, is because you're afraid that if you get an investor, that you might not be able to, one, deliver on the expectations, or two, you might get a partner that might just be unreasonable. When really, sometimes it's not like that partner is unreasonable. In most cases, it's that person who's investing in your business already has 30 years or plus in business and business development on you. They have the resources, they have the network, they have the money. So it's best that you sit back and calm your pride down and listen, and then be willing to grow. The growing pains in that is that you calming yourself down. It hurts to do that. It feels so convicting. I understand. I totally understand. Okay? Cool. That's what I meant earlier when I said growing pains. That's what I meant earlier about growing pains. It's a thing. It's truly a thing. You guys, going back to what I said, because I know I just ranted a lot. You're not a small business if you haven't started the business. You're not a startup if you haven't started the business. So when you are going for startup funding, it's very important that you have an understanding of, I must be a startup. And in order for you to be a startup, you have to register your company. You have to have an EIN number. You have to have a business bank account, at least. You could be working on the website, right? In Saturday's webinar, we're actually going to talk about websites and what that needs to look like for funding, right? What you need to have in there. So we're going to go over that stuff too. Okay, cool. All right. So what are you guys saying? I'm going to quickly go over like what I went over last week, my framework, so you know how to answer the grant questions. So we're going back to talking about grants. Then I'm going to show you guys some grants that you can actually apply to. Cool? Cool. All right, awesome. So in order for you to have access to the free webinar, you must first join the Grant Fully funding community. So in order for you to join, all you have to do is literally go to grantfully.org, download the grant writing checklist. And once you do that, you're a part of the community and you will receive consistent emails throughout the entire week of our webinar that's going to happen Saturday. You're going to receive emails of like 5 grants every week that you can apply to. All kinds of good stuff. You're going to receive like some business newsletters, some motivation. Be a part of the community, okay? All right, so what else are you guys saying? So could I find or get a grant to pay for my organization and filing fees and etc.? Yep, okay, absolutely. Business plan and pitch deck video, 300, absolutely. I think you're saying how much my prices are. Yes, if you want me to write a business plan and a pitch deck for you, it is $300. Essentially, you can write it yourself. If you guys want me to show you what my business plan and pitch deck looks like, drop it in the chat. Just say, yeah, let me see what you're working with. Is it worth it? You know what I mean? I don't mind. Let's see. When systems align, the vision becomes clearer. Thank you, Dennis. That is so cool. All right. And on the spiritual side, when you align with God's destiny for you, everything, you are favored in every place that you go to. It's a truth. Where's the link for the one-on-one to connect and contact with you? So Tamala, it is in the description. You can visit superchargemybusiness.com, superchargemybusiness.com, superchargemybusiness.com. You can always visit there, but the link is in the description. So yeah, you can tap on it. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yep. Can I get your contact info or can I give you my email address? I applied for the legacy grant. Congratulations. I hope everything goes well. So yeah, superchargemybusiness.com. That's where you can book a $50 one-on-one consultation with me. You will scroll up and visit and just click on book a grant call. Okay. Ema baby. Hi friend. How far now? She said, can a Nigerian apply for this grant? Shelby, please, can I apply? I'm a Nigerian. Absolutely. There are what's called international grants. What's so interesting, since I lived in Nigeria, if you don't know, I live in Abuja. Since me living in Nigeria, friend, I have been doing my best I've actually been sitting back because I came ultimately on a grant, but they took the grant back. So I've just been in Nigeria for like an entire year. I got married and did all that good stuff, right? But one of the things that I've been doing in Nigeria is I've actually been providing jobs. So I've been training people in Nigeria of how to actually apply to grants for the Grantfully team. One, it helps out on my payroll, right? Because respectfully, while I love my American people, you guys are expensive. Okay. And also, I wanted to give back to the community where I'm actually living in, which is Nigeria, and provide jobs. I do believe in whatever country that I live in, I don't have to, but I'm such a humanitarian. I truly believe that it's best that I do provide jobs for those that are around me. And if you guys don't know, when you live in a different country, in most cases, you cannot apply to jobs in those countries as an American citizen because it takes away from their people. You know what I mean? So literally, it's best that if you want to live abroad, I've been living abroad for almost 4 years now. If you want to live abroad, it's best to go with a business idea and be willing to do the necessary research to see how much it costs for you to build a business there. A lot of these countries, you can get a business visa so that way you can start your business there. You have some countries that will give you money in their form of currency to be able to start your business there simply because they understand that you are providing jobs with the intention that you will provide jobs for those people. So in Nigeria, Grantfully is actually registered, right? And so we have two different headquarters. We have one in Nigeria, in Abuja, and then we have the one in here in Miami, right? In Florida. And so I did that because one, I'm an American citizen. Of course, I want to be able to reap the benefits of being an American-based business. But two, I had to register in Abuja, Nigeria, because I want to be able to do things like help people who are in their NYNC. And I want to teach those young people, how to be business leaders and how to be forward thinking, right? Nigerians are hard workers, but it's important that we do our best with developing the mindset. So if we can develop the mindset of those people instead of believing that free money comes quick and easy and fast, well, if you are willing to take the long route and actually build, you'll see the fruitfulness of planting that seed, consistently watering it, seeing it grow, and how sweet the fruits are from that tree instead of just going to the grocery store and buying something that has pesticides in it. Okay. So yeah. All right. Yeah, absolutely. You can apply as international grants. And I just wanted to say that really quick. I would be selling products to the government and stubbing out government contracts. I play the middleman role. Shout out to you, Dave. Okay. Hope all goes well, which it will. Okay. Set yourself up. When you are doing business with the government, it's very important that you are very direct and you explain to them exactly how you are going to be helpful to them, how you are going to beat out anybody else. Okay. how affordable you're going to be, how reliable you're going to be, how you're willing to work 24/7 versus anybody else who's going to cut out after 5 p.m. You know what I mean? Do your best, kiss butt, and that's what it really is when you're doing business with the government. How are you going to, if we go with you, why should we go with you versus who we've been dealing with and doing business with for the last 10 years? Yeah. All right. And is the quality there? Right. If we gain you a contract with you, if we contract with you, is the quality going to be there? Is it going to be a thing where our clients won't be able to they can't determine that we've actually switched providers, you know? So can you guarantee that? Yeah. I have a payroll set with Gusta. Awesome. I don't set up with Gusta. Well, I don't set up with those because my payroll goes to like Nigerians and Filipino people, right? So I have my payroll through like other payment system, third party payment systems, so that way it can transfer into their currency. Let's see. Hey, Jay Brittany, thanks so much for being here. Blessing to see you here. Thanks for being a blessing. Absolutely. Have a great day. I just posted to my community board here on Facebook group. Absolutely. Yes. Tell them to come. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you. Greetings. Appreciate you, ma'am. Hey, Jason. Thanks so much for being here. Snatching wigs, friend. Thank you. Hey, I ask God, I pray before I get on here to ask God to order my words. Okay. So I'm hoping that you guys are getting what I'm saying, right? Picking up what I'm putting down, friend. All right, let us see. So you want to see my business plan and all that stuff? Okay, cool. I'll show you. I will have to do it next one. Okay, no problem. All right, so let's go and get into it really quick because one of our friends actually asked, how do you answer these grant questions? So grants, let's go back to that. Grants is free money that you can get. There's no credit checks. So you don't have to worry about any credit increase. There's no personal. Hello. Grocery, yes, I know groceries is high. God bless you. Yes, because I ordered the food I ordered the other day was like, what? A live stream right now. And okay, I'll call you as soon as I'm done with my live stream. All right, bye. That's my cousin. Y'all heard my cousin. She said groceries is high as F out here. I was like, girl, I bought 2 things of eggs the other day, and I was like, Jesus, got to do better. I'm ready to go back home to Nigeria. I don't like this. I've been praying to God every day. Lord, I don't like this. I'm ready to go home to the motherland where I don't have to pay $20 for eggs. Probably not even $3. So, like, what are we doing? So, all right, so let's go. Hey, Lori, thanks so much for joining. All right, so let's get into it. Grants, free money that you don't have to pay back. That's number one thing. Grants, you don't have to pay back. There's no credit increase, so you don't have to worry about your credit going down. And small business grants is funding for you to be able to have to kickstart the next year so you can use this money, free money that you don't have to pay back to literally scale your business, okay? Yes, it is a true thing. Places like Nike, Google, Apple, Sephora, Macy's, all these places, they give out free money, this grant money for people who want to start a business and who want to scale a business or who have already started their business. So if you're a startup, this is perfect for you. Even nonprofits as well. Google gives out a lot of nonprofit grants as well as Walmart. Okay. And also you can get this grant funding from those big companies that I just named, from your state and local government, and also from any private sector, like 15% pledge, I Fund Women, Honeycomb Credit, Hello Skip, Hello Alice, the Black Ambition Prize, Black Afro Tech. All right. There are so many different private VC funds that actually give out grants as well, and they would give you mentorship and other perks and deals. You're never wasting your time when you are applying to a grant, simply because even if you don't get the grand prize, win the grand prize, right? and let me give you full transparency. There's no 100% guarantee that you will win a grant. Hold on, friend, before you leave. But there is also no 100% guarantee that you will get a loan either. I have I think she was 63-year-old client, a Black woman that lived in like the South, all right, Georgia. And she's been banking with the same credit union for the last 30 something years. She bought her house through them. She got like they have like a boat or whatever. She lives on farmland. Her whole entire thing was she wanted to go and get at least like a $30,000 to $50,000 loan so she can expand her land and do more things for the farming, right? And she wanted to open up her own farmer's market. Well, guess what? She went in there, applied for a loan, and because she's a Black woman, they told her no. Absolutely. Credit 100. Credit score 100. I literally will never forget her because it was her and her husband. And then her husband went behind her to go for the same exact opportunity, and they told them no. During these political times of no diverse equity inclusion, you don't have 100% guarantee in getting a loan either. So why not take your chances of going for free money that you can actually have, that you don't have to worry about paying back, and there's no credit check, so there's no penalties against you. 84% of small business owners, and that's 33 million small business owners in the United States, don't go for grants, which means you're leaving over $90 billion on the table. That means when December comes, over $90 billion is still going to be left in small business grant funding. And what happens is some of that money gets rolled over, but at the top of the year, there's new opportunities. But hold on. Don't allow yourself to be procrastinating no longer and just wait until the beginning of next year to start applying to grants. Most people who are going to kickstart 2026, they are applying to grants right now. Let me explain to you how the grant timeline works, and then I'm going to teach you how to actually answer the grants. That's okay? All right, cool. So the grant timeline, each grant has their own timeline, okay? You have grants that you can apply to right now. This is how the fourth quarter grants usually works, okay? You would apply to a grant here in the fourth quarter. You have to give them any grant throughout the entire year, at least 30 days to review all the applications and to choose their grand prize winners. Sometimes it's one person, sometimes it's a plethora of people. The Verizon $10,000 grant, they're choosing over 100 businesses right now. You can be one of them, friend, okay? So boom. You can apply to a grant right now. Let's say, for example, the application deadline date is November 21st. After November 21st, on the actual grant like on their actual introductory page, which means on their website, they're going to tell you November 1st is the deadline date. We're going to start looking at applications. We will choose a winner by December 15th. And then come January 21st is when we're actually going to start giving out the money or sending the checks over. Technically, it's ACH. So doing direct deposit to these business bank accounts or to these nonprofits bank accounts. They have a full timeline of exactly how they plan to do things. So the people who are applying to grants right now, they're going to be able to kickstart in January their business, and in February, their businesses with free $100,000, $10,000, or whatever thousands of dollars for their business, which is the perfect time of the year to do that, right? Why? Because everybody likes to start their new year with new stuff, especially if you are a product seller. If you are a person that sells hair products, if you're a person that sells skincare products, beard oils, especially if you are in the health sector and you have a weight loss gummy, if you have sea moss, all this stuff, everybody wants to start their year off with a weight loss journey. It's statistically proven. Matter of fact, you do it as well. You've been a victim to it. Starting a gym off, that $10 gym membership that they do, or not even, they do the first month for free, and then by April, you got to start paying $24 a month. So understand, now it's time for you as an entrepreneur to start thinking about like an entrepreneur and getting out of the consumer mindset. If you yourself have been victim to understanding when holiday times come, they have all these sales and Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all this stuff, then you as the entrepreneur need to do a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday sale. That's exactly what you need to do. Okay? So, back to grant funding. I was going to go far deep into the whole holiday sale thing. With grant funding, right? While there's no 100% guarantee that you would get it, it's still worth you actually applying to it. simply because it comes with perks and deals. So let's say, for example, you don't win the grand prize of $100,000, but you also stated in your grant application that you needed at least $10,000 to go towards your marketing strategy. Guess what? Because you applied to this Google grant, and even though we didn't give you the full $100,000, we'll still give you $10,000 in Google ad credit, so you can still get your business, on track. So you can still reach your customers with this $10,000 like budget. And when somebody Googles daycare near me, Pizza Hut near, pizza place near me, clothing store, modest clothing near me, barbershop near me, you will be the top 5, if not number 1, with that $10,000 ad budget. And if you set up your ads to target your area, a specific area where you know a big high percentage of these people have this challenge, have this problem, and you have the solution for it, then literally you are supposed to be a really good percentage of that, of those people. They're supposed to see your ad through social media or whatever the case may be. And they will click on your ad, and guess what? You're going to catch sales. If you start catching sales right now, you will truly increase your chances of approvals with any funding opportunity. Yes, it is absolutely true. Because how are you going to pay your loan back? How are you going to pay the credit cards back? With grants, you don't have to pay them back, but it shows proof of credibility. It shows proof of traction. It shows proof that you actually know your target audience. You know exactly what the problem is. You know how your product and service is the solution to that. And you also know that it's needed. Why? How do you know that this product that you have or this service that you have is needed? Simply because you have gotten at least 25 to 50 people to actually purchase your stuff, which means it's working. You know what I mean? Cool. Grants, free money, you don't have to pay back. No credit checks, no penalties or fees against you. There's no 100% guarantee that you can win. However, it's still worth applying simply because you can still get the perks and deals behind that and still get your clients and your first sales just by applying to the opportunity. Also, grants are a real thing. You have a lot of naysayers out there, wannapreneurs who don't know nothing about entrepreneurship, have never made $1 million, that is saying grants this and grants that, has saying so many negative things. But those are people that are put in place that literally don't want you to do great. They don't even want you to even know about this stuff, because literally on the back end, they're still applying to grants and winning them most likely. They don't want you to know this stuff. And then also, last but not least, there's a certain way that you can actually you can actually answer these grant questions. I get this frequently asked question all the time. Shelby, how do you actually apply to the grant? Well, friend, I'm gonna tell you the steps, and then I'm gonna show you something. You would click on a grant. First off, you will visit one of these 2 websites. I'm gonna drop them in the chat, okay? I'm gonna drop them in the chat for you. You can visit HelloSkip. You can visit helloskip.com or grantwatch.com. All right, I just dropped it in the chat for you. HelloSkip or grantwatch.com. Okay, HelloSkip is an app that you can download on your phone, and it brings up at least 30 grants every month that you can have access to. HelloSkip is quite limited, but it is a free platform that you can use. Okay, there you go. Grantwatch.com is a $50 a month subscription, but it gives you access to hundreds of thousands of grants for your small business, for whatever your nonprofit mission is. And also, even if you're looking for school scholarship grants for you or your kid that might be in college or getting ready to graduate high school. Okay. Grantwatch.com, really good to use. Okay. Right now, until Grantfully comes out December 10th, then we won't even be talking about those 2 platforms anymore. Okay. Now, HelloSkip, grantwatch.com. Now, when you visit these sites and you actually find a grant that you like, you would click on the grant, and this is how the process works. You would visit the grant website, and the grant website will tell you all the information you need to know. Who's eligible? Who are they looking for? What's the purpose of this grant? Right? So I actually have that in here. So we talked about last week high probability grants. Okay, so this is where this comes into play. High probability grants. I wish I could make myself smaller. Okay, so in other words, that grant introductory page actually shows you who they're looking for, where it's located, and what the grant is for. This is the who, what, who, where, and what is also not only for who they're looking for, but who's giving out the grant. Is it Nike, Macy's, Uber Eats? Is it Hello Skip, Hello Alice? Who's giving it out? Where are they giving the grant out? So is it for everybody, or is it only is it international businesses? Is it only US based businesses? Or is it location specific? Do you have to only be in Dallas, Texas? And what? So what is the entire mission for this grant? Right? Are they giving out grants to Black owned companies that live in Houston, Texas? Is this only for um, is this only for male-owned veteran businesses that are in Miami, Florida? Okay, so what is the ultimate mission? Is this grant only for telehealth businesses who are creating innovative solutions in the telehealth sector? Right? Is this only for trucking businesses who deliver for Amazon and they're looking to expand their distribution services, whatever the case may be? Okay, all right, so that's the fit. This is the fastest path to high probability grants. High probability grants means you are most likely in position, or you are the perfect person to apply for this grant. Okay. High probability means that you have a high chance, a high probability of getting approved to this grant if you follow these three things. Timing, the deadline. So does the deadline, is it sufficient for you? Right? So is it good enough for you? Take a look at the deadline. Is it between 7 to 30 days? What does that look like? Is that okay for you? Then most likely this grant is for you, whichever. If you're willing to wait the 30 days, and if you're not in a big rush, cool. Then this grant is good for you. If it's in 7 days and you're in a rush, cool, then it works out for you. But if not, and it's in 30 days and you're looking for something but you will limit yourself. Most grants, you have to give them at least 30 days to review applications. Okay. So don't limit yourself. Just be willing to apply to any opportunity that you can go for. Proof. Can you validate traction quickly? So this is going to help you guys out with people telling you, or you have possibly been believing that grants is a scam or grants is not a real thing. Proof is you can quickly validate the traction on their site, which means you will most likely see them say, we have given out $200 million since 2020 to over 10,000 small businesses. Here's 2024, our last year's winners in 2024. And they would actually have a full newsletter and headshots of those people and those businesses and why they gave out the money to them. That is being able to validate traction. Okay. All right. Moving forward, this is a high probability scorecard. So you can always take a look at the grant and take a look at like the eligibility. The high probability scorecard is a total of 10 points. So if you find a grant, you need to ask yourself these 5 questions and give it a 0 to 2 score. These 5 questions is going to reassure you that this is the perfect grant that you should actually prioritize and apply to today. The eligibility precision. So are you the named beneficiary? In other words, do you meet all of the eligibility requirements? Are you located geography? So are you city, state specific, right? Does that match what you're doing? Let's see. Use of funds. All right. So does your need matches the grant's mission? So if they are giving out money for you that is building a childcare in an underserved urban area, and they're giving out money to those who are building a childcare facility in an urban or underserved area, then your what you need, right? What you need the money for aligns with the grant's mission. Traction ready. So receipts, revenue, users, pilot letters. Does the grant itself have traction? And when you read the eligibility requirements and you go through the application before applying for it, and if they ask for traction, do you have those things ready? And then traction doesn't always mean revenue. Traction can also mean, have you been able to get users, signups, build a community, get reviews and surveys from people that say that they would need this product? What efforts did you put in to reassure yourself that this product or service that you have is actually needed right now? Okay. You would give that 1 to 2 points. And then last but not least, time fit. So is it enough days left to submit the actual grant itself? Okay. Now, once you have asked yourself those 5 questions or went through those 5 bullet points, and you've given it a score of 0 to 2 for each of them, 2 being the highest, which means you have a high probability in that area, which means it makes sense, then what happens is, if you are anywhere between 8 points or more, that's green light. That means you need to apply to this grant. If it's 6 to 7, then I will make that the second priority and I would apply to it on my spare time, but I wouldn't prioritize it. Anything less than 5 points, I would totally pass on it. Okay. Now, I get this frequently asked question all the time. What are the main questions that grant applications ask? They ask, who are you and what's the problem? So, what is the problem that your clients are having? So, to reassure you guys, I'm Shelby, a 71% successful grant writer, and most of my clients are small business owners who don't know how to access grant funding. The problem is you don't know how to access grant funding. Why now? What's the traction? With me, let's say with me having my grant writing services is needed now because it is a done for you service that helps those small business owners who are looking for non-dilutive funding, don't know how to access it, and they also are confused on how to answer or submit the grant applications. How I was able to know that this service is needed is simply because I've been able to help over thousands of businesses, or I don't even have to say I've helped thousands of businesses, right? Let's just say I haven't made any money. How I'm able to identify that my grant writing service is needed right now today is simply that by me dedicating my daily live streams from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern time every morning, and I have over hundreds of people that come into the live stream and stay, and they ask questions consistently. After during the live stream, I have them download a free grant writing checklist, and they also book consultations with me. That could be whatever it is, and we have conversations. After I have been doing these live streams, let's say, and I'm just giving you guys an example. Since I've been doing these live streams for the last 30 days, I've been able to get over 50 people sign up for this information, just the free information I'm giving them. And out of the 50, half of them, 50% of them, say 25 of them, have actually booked a paid consultation so they can know more about my services. And out of the 25 that have signed up, so far, 10 of them have actually paid for my grant writing service, which is reassuring you that this grant writing service that I have is actually needed in the market. What will you do with the funds? If you gave me this $100,000, I will be very sustainable with the money by splitting it up, by spending 25% of it in each quarter of the year, which is 4 quarters. 25% that I will spend each quarter of the year. Out of the 25%, which is $25,000, let's say 5,000 will go into marketing and ads for an ad budget. $10,000 will go into a payroll budget, and another $10,000 will go into skill development and any other regulatory fees in quarter one. In quarter two, we are expected to have this many clients. So in quarter two is usually spring going into summer. So we plan to have like a summer wealth retreat that we would like to have the people that is a part of our community. We would like to invite them to Orlando, Florida, to a really nice Airbnb for a 2-day weekend. We want to be able to teach them all that they need, not only for non-dilutive funding for nonprofits and for-profits, but also we would collaborate with other intelligent financial leaders, business leaders in our local small business development center to be able to provide more information and resources to our clients. In addition to that, so that will cost $15,000. The other $10,000, we will split it up. $5,000 will go into continuing our payroll, and the other $5,000 will continue to go into our ad budget. And then you would keep moving forward from that. Okay, so that's how you would answer that. What would you do with the funds? Who benefits? What's the impact? With us being able to have this $100,000 and investing in it the way that we've said that we would in this application, we will be able to, we will be able to help over 500 businesses within the first 2 quarters of the year. Learn about grant funding and actually have access to grant funding. We will be able to, help those other grant funders and other grant programs have more motivation to give out more money based off of how many more applications that they're receiving, which will allow us to actually expand the grant funding ecosystem. helping those that 84% that actually don't go for grant funding and decreasing that 84% by even a half of a percent. Why you and what's the credibility? Well, let's say I've been in the financial industry, I've been a small business developer. I used to work for the SBA, right? I used to be a volunteer for the SBA. I did small business development coaching. I did that during the most economic detrimental times, which means during COVID. So I was teaching people about the best ways to have a business plan and be prepared for funding. And from that point on, I saw how important grants were. I applied to a grant and it's actually changed my entire like business life and helped me move forward and have the necessary means to be able to do what I do today. So I know that from my own experience, grants can actually help all small business owners out there to be able to stay afloat and keep on track, and also to be able to provide more jobs or whatever the case may be. Okay. So these are the main 5 questions. If you can answer these 5 questions, who are you? What's the problem? Why you? So what's the traction? How do you know? Why now? Sorry. What will you do with the funds? Who benefits? So what's the impact? And why you? What's the credibility? Then if you can answer these 5 questions, then you are prepared for all grant funding applications. Okay, it doesn't matter. These are the main 5 questions. These are the main 5 questions that they're going to ask. The main 5 questions. And these are really good questions. These simple 5 questions are really good questions that you should actually be asking yourself in your development process. When you are starting your business and you're building it, these are the 5 questions that you should actually be asking yourself. And if you can answer them thoroughly, like how I just did, and I could have went deeper, if you can answer them in detail, with showing proof of what you've actually done to reassure yourself that this product or service is needed right now and that you can actually make money from it and you'll be able to reach your income goals, then guess what? You know how to answer these grant questions. It's a thing of the more the merrier. You just need to apply to as many as you can, and may the best business win. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the Paris framework really quick. And then I'm going to show you guys my business plan and pitch deck, the things that you need to have. And then we're going to open up the floor for some questions. Okay, cool. All right. So Parents Framework, this is actually how I've been able to get a 71% successful grant writing rate. You guys asked me, how did I get that? And to reassure you, having a 71% successful grant writing rate actually means out of 1,000 clients that I will help in a year, 71% of them actually receive at least a $10,000, grant that me and my team apply to for them. And that's really good. This is the actual business phase. This is the framework that we use to actually answer these questions. Most small business owners also don't go for grants because you are confused on how to actually answer the grant questions, and it's okay. I totally understand it. If you use this Paris framework that I'm giving you, you will be able to thoroughly, professionally, and in detail answer the questions exactly how the grant funders are looking for. And, like I said, may the best business win at that point because you're doing everything right. So P is problem. So you provide a one sentence with a pain number. So in my business, right? We would say what the problem is 33 million small business owners in the United States. 84% of them leave over $90 billion on the table every year by not going for grant funding. That is a problem. That's a problem. You need to do the necessary market research to understand how many people in the country that you're living in are having this problem. Yes, you have an idea, but not everybody not everybody, right, has that same problem that you're providing the solution for. So it's important to understand that if you are doing something like providing, like, I don't know, something for a bidet for toilets, and you think that you are the innovator of that, well, how many people in America actually have a problem with wiping their butt? You get what I'm saying? I hate that I used that example, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? If you have like a company that's like, lawn care services, right? And you cut grass for residential and commercial properties, that's what your business is about. Then how many people in your area or your target area, that the area that you're targeting, right? The 3 main cities that you're targeting, how many of them, like what's the percentage of them that have an actual problem? And what is the problem? Right? What is the problem? So it can be something like, In the tri-state area, in the DMV area, there is 35% of residential and commercial business owners or properties, right, have a challenge with having or with finding an affordable, quality lawn care service that provides a business model that makes sense for their annual budgets. You see what I'm getting at? So a problem. What's a problem with a pay number? Some of you guys are putting in your answers. It's very vague, and they hate that. Grant funders hate that when they're reading your application and you're just being vague. You need to have a pain point with a number because it actually shows that you've done the necessary market research. Market research means you understand how much money you could potentially make with what you're doing, with the product and service you are offering. So with the market research, it shows that you've done it and you understand that the three main cities that you're targeting, how much money you could potentially make. If you know that there is 1 million people in total of the three main cities that you are targeting, then you know those 1 million people, out of that 1 million people, 300,000 of them actually have this problem. And you know that if you have the right marketing and ad budget, you can target all 300,000 of them. Matter of fact, you can target all 1 million of them. And for the $300,000 that know that have the 300,000 people that know that they have this problem, you'll be able to get a good conversion of them signing up, let's say within the first two quarters of the year. Out of the 300K, let's say you get half of them to actually sign up for your services, which is 150,000 of them. And after having 150,000 of them and serving them for quarter one and quarter two, you receive their results and their feedback and their surveys and all of this good stuff to continue to market yourself. So quarter three and quarter four, out of that 150,000 of them, you have kept 50,000 of them inside of your ecosystem. So they have signed contracts with you for the rest of the year, which allows you to target that other 150,000 and plus some who there might be now an extra 100,000 people towards quarter three, quarter four that now notice that they have this problem. Because things change. Those numbers change all the time. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, you need to do the market research. Audience, who's affected? All right, who's affected by? It's important that you know what are the three main cities. Where are the cities that you are targeting? What are the zip codes, the areas you are targeting, and who's affected? So, who's your client? Results. So, what is attraction? All right, what is the proof you can actually deliver on your product and service that you're offering? And investment. How would the funds transform your business in the next 30 days and also be impactful to your clients in the next 90 days? Sorry. So you need to be able to identify that. And then specifics. All right, that's S. So milestones. Remember I said in the last example I gave that, spring, summer, in the summertime, I want to do like let's say summer financial retreat for small businesses, and you guys come to Orlando, Florida. And that was an example, right? That's a milestone. That's a milestone. Okay, cool. Paris framework. If you can follow the Paris framework, it's really going to help you be organized in answering your question, the questions on the grant applications, and you won't be confused. Okay, cool. This is actually how you be in favor of the grantors or the grant reviewer. And, this is going to help increase your chances of approvals. So as a startup that's not generating revenue, absolutely, yes, you can get a grant. Absolutely. But if you're already generating revenue, at least you got like the first 5 to 10 clients, then yeah, that puts you more in favor, right? Of course, because you're actually just pushing forward. It shows that you're persevering. It shows that regardless, with or without the funding opportunity, you are still going to keep pushing forward. That's resilience. That's grit and determination. That's perseverance. And you need those character traits in order to be a good entrepreneur, right? A strong one. So this is what the judges dock you for. So what they don't like is they don't like vague outcomes with no numbers. Okay, so they don't like that. They don't like budgets with no milestones or timelines. They don't like the generic claims, which is we can help the community. They don't like that. Give them details. Overclaiming. So we'll be national in 30 days. Don't overclaim. All right, just make it make sense. And typos and formatting, that hurts you as well. Okay, so yes. All right. Cool. So yeah, that's what I had to show you guys just really quickly. I wanted us to go over that really quick. Um, yeah. Yeah, that was good, right? So, for those of you who have asked me, I get that frequently asked question all the time. How do you actually answer the grant questions? We just went over it. If you choose high probability grants, then that's good. You are doing good. If you can use the Paris framework, right, going over the being able to answer the problem with some numbers behind it, being able to identify your audience, right? Being able to explain what the investment looks like, being able to provide the results, right? The traction, what have you put in? What efforts have you put in to be able to help you understand that your product or service is needed, right? And then what is the extra stuff, right? What are the milestones, right? The specifics. So, what are the milestones you plan to hit in this year with this grant opportunity, right? If you can actually answer those five main questions, right, and use the Paris framework, then you're good to go. Everything that you're doing, if you're doing everything that I'm saying, everything that you're doing is right on key. You are doing it correctly. You don't need reassurance. Then at that point, it's all about may the best business win. You might notice that a lot of the businesses that do win the grants, they might already be generating revenue. They are probably established. And the reason why they will be more in favor of those established businesses, friend, is simply because those businesses have a lot of traction to prove. Those businesses are still pushing forward on their business mission and delivering on their business mission and solving problems with or without a funding opportunity. They're showing grit, determination, and perseverance. Imagine you applying to a grant, and this is a beauty grant, and you have a product that's going to give hydration lips, right? Kind of like Carmex. And then you have another woman that has a fragrance free, I don't know, like makeup remover wipe. Okay. But her company has been in business since 2020. She's actually been selling these makeup wipes. Matter of fact, she's been giving these makeup wipes out to other teenagers, to influencers. She's given them out so much. She's actually paid out of her own pocket over $100,000, not only to start her business, but also to put into marketing and to build her brand for the last 5 years. And now here we are in 2025. She has actually not generated any revenue at all, but she's also still pushed forward, worked her 9 to 5, got donations, and receive good reviews from people through Instagram influencers and all kind of stuff off after offering her products and her products for free. She's built a community of different young ladies that's from the ages of, like, let's say 16 and older, and they all come together like on this Facebook community, and they talk about how the wipes help them clear their skin. They love wearing makeup, so these wipes are really good for them. They have acne prone skin, they have sensitive skin, so these wipes are really good. They have all that traction but never made a dollar. And you have so many great reviews in on your social on their Facebook community or social media platforms of these girls saying, I can't wait until this product drops. I'm ready to purchase now. That business versus your lip hydration business that you haven't done the work for yet, you haven't created, distributed, developed the product, you haven't went out and actually gave a free sample to different people to really understand what they do and what they don't like about the product, right? To receive any results. You haven't built a community of people who are behind this brand and saying, hey, I love this. I love what's going on here. I can't wait until it comes out. You don't even have pre-orders to show. And sometimes doing a pre-order is like, just sign up. Sign up. Get in and be the first 100 people. And then guess what? You get the whole free sample of 3 of my products, 3 of my hydration lip things for free by using this coupon. You haven't even set up the proper systems or even the website yet. So if you are in that like startup phases and you haven't built traction yet, what I highly advise is that you build traction now and then you start moving forward with funding opportunities. I'm not telling you anything that ain't gonna help you win. I'm telling you, you have to, and it's called meritness. That's what meritness means. Can you show proof that these things are, like, you know what I mean? What have you already done? That business who has not generated revenue yet, but still can show traction, who has the makeup remover wipes, right? The fragrance-free makeup remover, yes, they're going to choose that person because that person has built a community. That person, as soon as they get that money to be able to distribute and develop a whole bunch of like, I mean, like develop the products, like a case of 100 of them, that first 100 is already gone because they built a community of about 500 women or 500 people who like to do makeup and like actually like this product. You see what that looks like? It's very important. Mark Cuban was right. Now that brings me back to what I was saying all the way at the beginning of this live stream. Mark Cuban said in a TikTok with, what's her name, Grace? I think her name's Grace or something. And he was saying, literally, the problem with startups that are going for funding is simply that they are not focused on making the money. And she asked a follow-up question. Well, why do you think startups have a challenge with starting? Like, why aren't they just like actually focus on making the money instead of going straight for funding? And he said, the reason why is because they're afraid of no. They're afraid of people telling them no. I take that, and to simplify it, you're afraid, it's fear of the unknown. Scared money don't make no money, friend. It's true. Scared money don't make no money. So when you choose the path of entrepreneurship, you have to be very strategic on the steps that you take and watch every step that you take. And if you come into a pitfall and if you took a direction or a step that things didn't go as you thought it would, take it as a lesson, get back to the drawing board, and let's strategize on how to move forward, how we can do things differently. There's no point in you consistently putting money into Instagram ads if it's not working for you. If you put in money into Instagram ads and you see that the YouTube ads, you're getting more results. So why would you even spend money in Instagram ads? Just allow the algorithm to keep posting there, yeah. But I will put more focus into what's actually working. Okay, cool. Do you guys have any questions? I'm going to say this again. Focus on building traction. Focus on catching the sales first before you go for funding. Okay. Cool. What questions do you guys have? Drop them in the chat. Thank you for sharing in your time this morning. I really appreciate you sharing the guidance today. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is my pleasure for sure. You guys, we have been on here for almost 2 hours. So the last 15 minutes, you can ask any question. I remember I said that I was going to show you guys my actual business plan and pitch deck. Do you guys want to still see that? Let me know in the chat. Do you still want to see my business plan and pitch deck? I don't mind showing you. Also, I wanted to go over, see if there's some new grants that uploaded. So let me bring that up as well. Okay. All right. So you guys are, let me see if I can find like a quick grant that we can all apply to. Yeah. Okay. Stacy says yes. Hey, Stacy, thanks so much for joining. I truly appreciate you being here with us. This past week was very, very busy for me. Have you touched on you have touched on all my questions. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much. I'm so blessed to have you here. Don't forget, you can always book a one-on-one consultation with me, Tamala, that you can visit superchargemybusiness.com. I can put it in the chat for you. Superchargemybusiness.com and actually book a grant call with me. It's $50. It's super worth it. You guys, if you want to know what you need to have before you go for grant funding, you can download my free grant writing checklist. Be a part of the Grantfully funding community. You get free weekly 5 grants that you can apply to, different business newsletters that will actually motivate you to keep pushing. And also you can join us in our weekly webinars. Okay, this Saturday we have a cool webinar that's coming up. Some information that you guys need to know, what you need to have on a business website before you go for funding. So that's going to be good. All right. And I'm going to start sending that email out. If you're already a part of the Grantfully funding community, I'm going to actually start sending that email out today. Yeah. Of our webinar on Saturday. It's free. It's free. Okay. It's literally free. Stacy says, yes, it's time for me to get it together. I got you. All right. Why not kickstart your 2026 with like $100,000 in your pocket? You know what I mean? That's like literally a no-brainer. And you can do it by taking the rest of this time for the rest of the year and actually sorry, I had to relog into my Google. You can actually take the time for the rest of the year and start building that traction. So by the time like you start like as you are applying to grants, let's say in December or whatever the case may be, you can start building that traction now and focusing on what that looks like, and then kickstarting your year in 2026 with grant funding free money that you don't have to worry about any credit inquiries, any like paybacks or anything like that. If you need help with understanding how to build traction for your new startup, for your new startup, then you can always join the Grantfully funding community, right? You can book one-on-one consultations with me. It's $50 per consultation. We're on Zoom for like an hour. And then you're telling me what your business idea is, and I can tell you all the things that you can actually do to actually start building traction. And in most cases, it's a thing where you're not even using your own money out of pocket. You're just simply getting out of your own way and actually putting your best foot forward. Imagine that. Okay, so I'm bringing up my business plan and all this good stuff so I can show you guys what a good business plan looks like for grant funding, for any type of funding for that matter, and also a pitch deck. If you guys don't know what a pitch deck is or a business plan essentially is a document that shows you all of the things that you plan to do and all the milestones you plan to do to help you grow your business within the next 5 years. It's a full document. It has different key indicating factors in this document that shows and expresses how this business is going to flourish in the next 5 years. I'm going to show you what that looks like. A pitch deck, P as in Paul, ITCH, a pitch deck is a PowerPoint presentation of your business plan. Instead, it hits the direct points of exactly what is your product and service, what is your company about, so what's the business mission, right? Or what's the nonprofit's mission? What is the problem that your customers are having? How does your product and service provide that solution, right? How much money are you requesting, and what would you do with that money? All of that will be in a PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to show you what this pitch deck looks like as well. I do business plans. I write business plans and pitch decks for you. So I'm going to show you mine that I just recently did for my client. It's $300 if you want me to do it for you. And which is good, or or you can do it yourself, but I still want to show you an example so you can know what you need to have in your business plan and pitch deck and how to move forward. If you feel like you need someone to hold your hand in writing these grants, that's why it's important for you to join the Grantfully funding community. It's free. All you have to do is get the free grant writing checklist, and you will start receiving emails every day about grants you can apply to in our weekly webinars. And in those weekly webinars, you get to be a part of a community that asks questions, most likely the same questions that you have. And I will walk you through everything every step of the way. Okay? Cool. Stacy says, can you put the booking link in the chat? I could, but it's not tappable. So I don't know if my face might be somewhere around here. You can tap on my face and bring up the description of this live stream. In the description is the actual link. I just put the link in here. You can visit superchargemybusiness.com. You can visit there. So I did put the booking link in here, but it's not tappable. So yeah, okay. I'll pin it for you guys in just a second here. Okay, one moment while I bring up stuff. Okay, we've actually went over this one before. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll go over these two grants. One is $100K and another one is a $50,000 opportunity. So we'll go over that. I went over one of them before. And another one we'll go over. And this is very important that we actually walk through the application to reassure you why that pairs framework works. Okay. So I just had to bring that up really quick for you guys. Let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and put here in the chat for you. Okay. Is it the same link? Is this same link the checklist? So there's two different links. If you want to have a one-on-one consultation with me where I'm sitting with you on Zoom for an hour, we're strategizing and I'm giving you step-by-step things, ideas and advice on how to start building traction and possibly start catching sales right now. That's a link, the different link that is superchargemybusiness.com, or you can text my number. I'm going to put it here in the chat for you. Okay. I'll put it, or you know what? I'm going to bring it up and you can actually, how about this? You can screenshot it. How about this? You can screenshot it. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, so one second. Let me see if I can find one of these things that have it. Checklist. Let's see. No. Okay, here we go. All right, so you guys can screenshot this. You can always text grants to this number and I can actually send you. They also supercharge my business. So I would love for you guys to actually screenshot this right now. This is actually my direct contact information. You are more than welcome to text this number. When you text hashtag grants, then I am going to automatically send you the link to book a $50 one-on-one Zoom call with me. All right. Or you can simply visit superchargemybusiness.com. It is right there for you. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys just 2 minutes. And while you guys are screenshotting that, I'm going to go through the comments here. Yes, OMG, super dope information, ma'am. Appreciate your time respectfully and blessings to you and your family. Likewise, Jason, have an awesome day. Thanks so much for being with me. And yes, Stacey, there's the booking link and all the information you need. Tamla says, got it. It will be the best $300 spent to just have everything in order from a professional. Thank you so much. Cassie Smith says, hi, welcome in. Alexander Nevermind says, do you have any advice for someone who has no more support but striving to keep moving forward? Absolutely. Actually, the ones that don't get the most support, they are the ones that are like, that really come on top. I'll explain it to you in just a minute. I'm just giving you guys some time to screenshot this really quick. My beautiful me, so make sure you screenshot this. This is actually the information to book a one-on-one consultation with me. You can text hashtag grants, whatever you can get to me, or you can visit my website, superchargemybusiness.com, and actually book a grant call through there. We'll talk about grants that serve in your favor and also talk about how to build traction so you can be in favor of those grants, right? Nicholas Ellison says, hi, welcome. Good morning. Thanks so much for being here. Such a blessing. And okay, yeah, Stacey's booking after the live. I love that. Thanks so much. I can't wait to meet you, friend. Okay, so make sure you book. All right, I'm here for y'all. Okay, so let me, okay, I hope you got that information. All right, so really quick, Alexander says, do you have any advice for someone who has no moral support, but striving to keep moving forward? So, yes, I'm a believer. So I have to come from the Christian side of this. Jesus ain't have no moral support. Like, nobody believed him. Nobody believed that this guy can do all of these things. Matter of fact, he literally did the ultimate thing, right, for all of us. He didn't have much support. Let me bring it to current events. Oprah Winfrey didn't have any support. Matter of fact, she got essayed by her own family member. You understand what I'm saying? Recent events, right? There are people that we see all the time that they are becoming revolutionary in these different industries, and they never had the absolute support that they were supposed to have, even their own self-motivation. But they got to a point where they were so sick and tired of being in the same cycle that they actually felt like, well, it's hard to be in this situation. What does it look like if I actually get up and start being active and actually start doing my best every day? So, the advice I give to you is if you feel like you need, and matter of fact, something I want to do really quick, because a lot of us don't know this. I just Googled what is the definition of moral support. I'm a person that's going to break it down. Moral support is support or help, the effect of which is psychological rather than physical, which means you need somebody to, you need your own self-motivation. Take a look at what you have been doing all this time. Has it gotten you to where you want to be? Something that I noticed, over the weekend about some of my family members. Remember, I told you guys, like, God has really, this entire trip, my eyes have been open. I've also noticed that a lot of my family members, they understand that the position that they're actually in is simply because they actually choose to be there. You understand? So it's a thing of sometimes with wantrepreneurs, which are the people who say, I want to do this, I'm going to do this, I have the idea to do it. Like, that's always talking about, I want to do this, I want to do this, I'm trying to do this, I want to do this, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do this, I want to do this, I'm trying. Those are people that they actually get satisfaction out of consistently talking about it, but not being about it. And they make the choice of consistently gaining the satisfaction out of dreaming versus actually executing and doing what they're saying that they can do or they want to do. So I'm saying that to say every day you have grace and mercy put upon you. Every day you get a clean sheet of paper. Every day you get a clean slate. You write your story every day. You determine on this day, who are you going to be? Yesterday, this is the effort you put in. Not too much, was it? The day before that, you had a whole to-do list. While you got it done, this was a lot of stuff that you did that literally didn't help you grow. This is what you call busy work. You just did stuff. Then you probably became self-depressed or self-deprived or whatever the case may be and start beating yourself up. So you didn't get much done. Well, guess what? Today, you have a clean slate. Let's actually sit down and think about what it looks like for us to start executing on things that will make sense. And if you don't know what those things are, if you don't know what are the steps that you need to take in order for you to start making some progress, and it could be something as simple as getting your license, clearing your license if you got tickets and stuff. This is just something on a personal level because our friend here is saying no moral support. They need help with that. They need support psychologically more than physical. So if it's that thing where it's like you're having a challenge with self-motivation, because sometimes self-motivation is overrated too, then look at your circumstances. Find it. Look at your circumstances and say, you know what? I've been doing a lot of nothing because I still have this I have to do. I still have this that needs to be done. I've been doing a lot of nothing. And it's easy to get distracted, but also you have to really slow yourself down and say, okay, I'm not going to keep doing this anymore. I'm doing so much stuff for everybody else because I'm actually self-sabotaging my own self by not getting my things done. If I know that I need to make my car payment and I'm 2 months behind, but I've also been paying for my brother's this and I've been paying for my friend's that, or I've been giving money, or I've been eating Starbucks and Chick-fil-A every week, when I could have been saving that same amount of money to actually pay off my license or to actually start paying off my car note. Or I could have at least called the people before they repossessed my car and I could have told them, hey, I'm going through a financial challenge right now. Can you guys give me some time? Can I make small payments to you guys so I can make sure I put myself in a good position? You're not thinking clearly. You need to sit down, and sometimes it takes you to look at yourself and accept that maybe you have been like putting your energy into the wrong areas. You're not perfect. The Bible says that there is not a living person, a living soul on this earth that is 100% righteous. What does that mean? That means you will never be perfect. You won't be societally, right? You will not be perfect. You will never be perfect. So what that means is the day that you feel like you are perfect is the day that you believe that you have it all. You know everything. You have all knowledge, which means you don't depend on God. You don't depend on people to help you build. When that's not how life goes, that's not the circle of life. When you are lacking moral support, the advice I can give you is take a look at what didn't work. Where are you right now? And are you at the place where you want to be? And if you are complacent and comfortable with where you are right now, then don't waste your energy or breath or wasting other people's time in listening to what you want to do and what you're trying to do. Instead, keep it to yourself and let's start a whole nother conversation because everybody understands that you are complacent and comfortable with where you are. But if you are a person that you truly are ready and willing to move forward, what has worked, take a step back, sit down, think to yourself, this is what I've been doing all 2025. We're at the end of 2025. This is what I've been wasting my time on. And what I want to do from this day forward, I don't want to continue to allow my weight to keep me down as an anchor. I want to actually get up and do like a 30-minute walk outside and start from there. I want to actually start eating healthier and cleaner. I want to actually start reading books every morning and before I go to sleep instead of scrolling through social media because I'm killing my brain cells when I'm doing that. I want to start actually moving forward. I want to do something. Let's do something different because I'm tired of this same evil cycle that I'm in that's not allowing me to grow. That's the best advice I can give you right now, friend. I'm hoping that that actually helped you out. I'm hoping that gave you some clarity. You know what I mean? Alexander, I'm hoping so. All right. No more support, but striving to keep moving forward. Yeah. Moving forward is before you take that first step, you got a clean slate every day. Think about what you can do differently than what you do. You know what helps me? Because sometimes I have a period, like you guys are seeing me that I'm like kind of coming out of that period where like I'll get comfortable where I'm at for like a few weeks. Weeks turns into months. And then it's like, all right, we've been doing this for like 90 days. About time to get up. Okay. It's okay. Sometimes you need that rest period, so you can sit down, chill, and be able to think. I'm that type of person. Everybody's different. Sometimes people are able to think as they go, and it helps them. It helps motivate them as they're moving forward and as they're growing. Everybody's different, right? So I noticed that, okay, well, I'm a person that when it's time for me to get out of my comfortability, I say, okay, how are you going to be better than who you was yesterday? Because yesterday you was watching a lot of Netflix. You can actually be doing more business. You can actually be more like not micromanaging, but you can actually like focus a little bit more, zone in much more on your business today. You can have more meetings today. You can follow up more with your clients today. You can actually like read up or watch YouTube videos more on educating yourself. You can actually connect with your people or try to find ways that you can collaborate. You can actually do better with your time because you watched a lot of Netflix yesterday and scrolled through TikTok. So where did that get you? What did you learn from watching all these Netflix and TikTok? Nothing? Okay, cool. So that was just like personal things you're doing. You just need that rest. Okay, cool. Well, today, do you choose to be better than who you was yesterday, or do you want to be the same Shelby from yesterday? When you wake up, you have to make that decision. If you say, today, I want to be better than who I was yesterday, cool. What does that look like? Well, for me, I'm going to pick 5 things that I can do today that's going to be different, that's going to help educate me, that's going to make me feel, that's going to be healthier for me, right? Physically, that, I'm going to try my best to give back, right? I'm going to do something that is going to be collaborative. I might actually go out and touch grass today, sit by a pond or a lake. I'm going to choose 5 things that's going to educate me, physically help me, so make me healthier, help me out financially, help me be a humanitarian. So I don't know, I might give back to somebody. I might give to like, I don't know, find somebody. It's so many people out here on the side of the road. I might give somebody $5 for free. Just like, here you go, $5. And then one thing that can be like a personal development thing. I'm going to put on makeup to feel beautiful today. I'm going to choose 5 things that I know that I can do today differently from what I did yesterday, and I'm going to actually do it. Right. Cool. All right, so let me show you guys my okay, it says yes I did. Good. Yes, it did. Good. Good. Let me show you guys my business plan really quick. So I'm going to show you what a good business plan looks like for when you're going for funding. And if your business plan looks like this, then why aren't you going for this grant money? Okay. Over $90 billion get left on the table every year. 84% of out of 33 million small business owners leave this money on the table every year. Why not kickstart 2026 with a $100,000 grant that you can use to scale your business? It's a no-brainer. So I'm going to show you what you need to have. Now, if you need reassurance on knowing all the things you need to have before you go for small business grant funding or nonprofit grant funding, I have a free grant writing checklist that you can download. You can visit grantfully.org. That's grantfully.org. And once you download the free grant writing checklist, friend, then you will have all that you need. And also, I'll send you weekly grants, 5 grants every week that you can apply to. And you get a chance to join our free webinars every week where I'm dropping some gems and I'm bringing my friends along who make a lot of money, who have successful companies, possibly in the same industry as you, that you can collaborate, partner with, and learn from. Okay. All right. So this business plan, you need a business plan and a pitch deck ultimately before you decide to go for grant funding. Okay. And a business plan is something that is very thorough like this. Okay. So let me show you this business plan. Let me clean my, how about that? Okay. So let me show you guys this business plan. All right, so this is for one of my clients. I recently did this business plan for. So you need to have things like an executive summary. An executive summary is usually the first page of your business plan. It outlines the mission, the problem, the solution, and all of the industry information that is necessary to explain why your product or service is needed in the market right now. Your SWOT analysis. So, what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? What are the business models? What are the different types of business models, right? Are you doing, let's say, a subscription business model? Are you business to customer, business to business? And how are people signing up? Are you doing workshops online? What are you doing? What's the business models? Viability status is the who you're targeting, right? What's the ultimate demand in that particular area that you're targeting? Okay. What's the competitive advantage? And what are the benefits, the location benefits of you actually being the person that offers this product and service in that particular area? Industry overview. So this is market research. All right. Target audience. Who's your ultimate target audience, right? What does that look like? Market size and trends. You need some of this. This is optional. You don't have to have this in there, but I put it in there. Expansion opportunities. So what are some of those milestones you want to hit, all right, in the next 5 years of your business operation? Secondary offerings, some additional things that you can have in here. This is optional as well. You don't have to have it in your business plan. Customer service, what does the customer service look like when you are providing to them? So are you giving them personalized support? Are you giving them good communication? How do they communicate with you and your team if anything was to go wrong? Okay. Let's see. Marketing overview, customer retention. All right. So those are extra things that you can have in there. Online presence. This is all a part of your marketing strategy. So you plan to be on social media, SEO content. What does that digital marketing strategy looks like? And community engagement. You also need to have numbers, right? So what's the revenue look like? So what is the revenue or the income that you plan to make based off of all of the services and products that you are offering? What are the expenses? So how much does it cost you to actually have this company up and running? What's your ultimate funding plan and what's your requested amount? So are you requesting $120,000 and how do you plan to allocate the funds? Well, as you see here, equipment and supplies, 40,000, 15,000 to inventory, 20,000 into marketing and marketing budget, 25,000 into operating expenses, 20,000 into a contingency fund, which means that is just if anything was to happen, a contingency plan. You would have $20,000 in reserve to help you get through any challenges that you might have. Okay. What does your team and roles look like? All right. So what does your team look like? How many people do you need on a team? What are the different roles that you need for your payroll? Also, operations plan. So how are you going to be operating? Risk analysis. This is very important. What is the worst case scenario that can happen? And how do you plan to actually overcome that with this budget that you're requesting? Regulatory compliances. What are the licenses and things that you need to have in order for you to be able to continue to be in business? Pre-launch and post-launch are like 5-year plans that you can have in your business plan, but it is optional, okay? So you need a business plan that looks like that, friend. If your business plan doesn't look like that, then it may be a challenge for you to actually answer these questions and actually, help you get funding, whether that's venture capital, or like, investment capital, things like that, or loans, or even grants, okay? Moving forward, this is what you call a pitch deck, okay? So a pitch deck is essentially the PowerPoint presentation of what I just showed you. So it gives you the direct information of exactly what these people are looking for. If a person that wants to give you money, like a grant fund, a loan officer, or a VC firm, right? They want to give you money. They most likely will request a pitch deck for sure. They probably don't want to go through the whole business plan. They'll go through the executive summary and a few other pages, but this pitch deck should have everything direct. What's your mission statement? The problem? What's the solution? What are your product and services? What is the business model? What's the whole entire industry overview, market research? How are you going to market? Okay. What are your main financial targets, right? So what does that look like? Information about your actual business. And then you can also put in here like how much you are requesting and then some contact information, okay? So that's really direct. This is about 11 to, let's say, no more than 20 slides that you can have that would help you out with pitching, okay? So yeah, that's what that looks like. You guys have any questions? Well, I haven't seen you in a while. Hi. Yes, I've actually been here, right? And I'll be here every day this week because last week I was kind of like I was doing investors pitches. I would show you guys my pitch, but I can't because for confidential reasons, and I don't want nobody screenshotting my stuff and trying to steal my idea. Absolutely not. So, but I can show you like, what my clients that I've asked permission from, what they have going on. Okay. I have mine already, but I don't know if it's effective. Well, you can once you book a consultation with me, then we can always go through it. If it doesn't kind of look like what we have, what we just went over or went through, then you can always reassure yourself on whether or not, like, if you feel like your business plan is good enough. Okay. Um, Awesome. Dave says, I'm still listening. Awesome. Alexander says, no one-page chat GPT business plan. Right. You see, what I just gave you is thorough. All right. It's a 5-year plan. Call to Rain says, I'm new here. Hi, welcome. Welcome in, friend. I love new friends. My name is Shelby. I'm a 71% successful grant writer. I've been winning millions of dollars in grants for the last 10 years. I've been here on YouTube educating you guys about what a grant is, how to access them, and how to actually submit grant applications and win for the last 6 years, every day, daily YouTube live streams. So welcome in. I would love for you to be a new subscriber. And also, I would love for you to like the live stream as well. And I have a grant funding community where you can actually download my free grant writing checklist. We do weekly webinars together. It's really fun. And also, you get a weekly grant list of 5 grants that you can apply to in your email every week. I also send you some like business tea newsletters to keep you motivated and keep moving forward. So welcome in. I'm so blessed to have you here. And I hope that you just share with your friends that you came across this girl that helps you guys get free funding, which is grant funding, and to help you guys to be able to scale. And yeah, I have really great reviews, right? On my Etsy, I have like I'm a top review for this grant funding thing in Etsy. You can visit my website and take a look at my video reviews of different multicultures and ethical groups, ethnic groups of people that male and female that have had a great experience with my services and just with my one-on-one consultations. Okay, so I love that you're here. You can visit grantfully.org, grantfully.org. All right. And that's how you can get and download the free grant writing checklist so you can have all the things that you need before you decide to go for free grant funding for your small business or nonprofit. Okay. I'm a founder of Grantfully, which is a SaaS tech platform that is a grant search engine that helps you find grants that serve in your favor. You have your own client dashboards. You can track everything, and it's a $30 done for you service. So imagine paying just $30 to have your grant application submitted. Grantfully is not out yet. So you can join the Grantfully funding community by downloading the grant writing checklist, joining us in the weekly webinars. And when December 10th comes, you will be a part of the Grantfully launch, virtual launch. Okay, cool. I'm about to check it out now. Awesome. This is great. I'm going to send your channel to a couple of my family members. Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. The jubilations of Jamie, the red carpet vibe. I need help, please. Absolutely. How can I help you, friend? Thanks so much for being here. I see it. Okay, awesome. How can I help you? So while you're typing your questions, because this is like the Q&A time right now. So you guys can ask any questions right now regarding grants, regarding going for grant funding. Last week, I wasn't really so much on here on YouTube because I've been doing investor pitches, right? So if you guys don't know, I'm going for investment like capital right now. Investment capital is when you are willing to give a piece of your company for us, like an investment to either start your company or to kind of like scale your idea with what you already have, right? And Grantfully can be a global grant search engine platform. If I had like say $1 million, $1 million, I am not afraid of asking for $1 million when I know that my SaaS platform can bring in at least 6 to 10 million a year. You know what I mean? Why would I be scared? So I have actually had to develop my own pitch decks, multiple different pitch decks for specific, different pitch competitions and pitches and stuff I've been doing. And it's been such a fun vibe, right? It's a thing where you have to go for as many as you possibly can. I'm happy that I'm back here in the States because it does give me the leg up and the opportunity to be able to, just in case that I have to fly to, let's say, Los Angeles, San Francisco, fly to, New York or the DMV area, or, be here in Florida and, be in Miami. Well, if I have to meet up in person, then I have the ability of being here in the States of doing that versus being back home in Nigeria. I'm not Nigerian. I'm married to a Nigerian, and I also, have my company out there too. Okay, I need information on applying for a small business that has been in business for 7 years, which is a daycare. All right, so let's work through it together. All right, so grants is free money. There's no credit checks, so you don't have to worry about providing your personal information like your social security number or your date of birth, or even your identification card, like your ID or driver's license. Small business grants do not request your personal information. They simply don't need it. What grant funders are looking for is they want to know, who are you? What's the problem? How does your product or service, or essentially for this situation, how does your service actually provide, the solution to the problem, and what reassures you that you need it now? So you are opening up a daycare. Well, yes, there is definitely grants out here for industry specific reasons, but you don't want to limit yourself. You can get a grant because you are a Black woman owned company, because you are a minority owned company, because you are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. You can get a small business grant simply because you are helping persons with disability. You can get a grant because you are a veteran entrepreneur. You can get a grant because you are a person who lives in Phoenix, Arizona. You can get a grant for so many different reasons. So let's not limit ourselves for only going to apply to grants that is solely for daycares or childcare providers, right? Also, you can get a grant for when you are going for grants. Let's slow down. Red carpet vibe. When you are going for grants, friend, it's very important that your grant, like the grant that you're going for or you're choosing, aligns with your business mission. So you are opening up a childcare facility, a daycare. Let's say your daycare might be specific to helping children from newborns up into the age of 13 years old, right? And let's say that you also want to have a summer program that is going to provide them with all the necessary tutoring that they need, and also provide them a weekend of camping and learning different survival skills. In addition to that, with the newborns, or let's say not the newborns, but the little babies, right? The 2-year-olds to 6-year-olds or whatever, you're also going to be doing after school or during the day, right? Because they aren't going to school. You're actually going to be doing ABC learning and helping them learn and helping them prep. So it's kind of like prepping for preschool or whatever, or prepping for kindergarten or whatever the case may be. So you are into what's called early learning, right? Early start learning or something like that, right? I forgot the actual thing for it, but you understand where I'm coming from. So your ultimate mission is to make sure these children from the age, while you are taking care of the newborns and making sure they're getting the care that they need, in addition to the taking care of the newborns, majority of your children that you are having inside of your childcare facility are going to be from the ages of 2 into 13. And you are focused on early learning and also continue aftercare learning and teaching these children truly how to, providing tutoring, giving them the education they need, and also as they get a certain age, survival skills. So kind of like Montessori teaching a little bit, right? Doing things like a small lasagna, spaghetti cooking class and things like that with during the summer or whatever, right? So you can go for a grant that provides you with the necessary money to reach that milestone of having that summer camp. You can go for a grant that would help you, that will give you the money for you to be able to open up that childcare facility because you are located in an urban or underserved area. You can get a grant because your business mission, right? Your ultimate mission is to help these children with after school learning, is to help these children develop an education. And you understand, and your ultimate mission, the problem is, right? So your problem would be, you understand teachers are underpaid, which means the quality of teaching might not be up to standard. So what you are willing to do is to take on that hassle that the parents might have to do, that usually have to do after school. And you would actually do the after school tutoring and schooling and making sure their homework is done before they even get home, which allows them, the children, to get home and to spend as much family time, the small little bit of family time that they have with their parents, and actually focus on love and eating dinner together and just creating memories instead of having to sit at a dinner table, do homework and eat and brush your teeth, take a bath and go to bed, and doing that same daily routine. What you do is you take out the hard and guesswork of putting that pressure on the parents, and you are helping these children get their things done, right? You understand? So your business ultimately, Red Carpet Vibe, what I'm saying is, when you are going for small business grants or nonprofit grants, the mission of whatever your business is, it's important to align the mission with the grant's mission. And then that gives you a high probability chance of actually winning that grant opportunity. Okay. So, yeah, let's see what else you are saying in here. You're saying, yes, exactly what I'm looking for. This summer camps for school age, early childhood development. I'm in Nebraska. Yep, absolutely. So I hope I was able to answer your question. As far as in, you need any info on applying for a small business that has, or I guess small business grants that has been in business for 7 years. So absolutely, right? Also, by you being a childcare facility for the last 7 years, you have traction. So you can be able to show that all of the other programs and all the last 7 summers that you've actually had children in your childcare facility, what different things that you guys have actually done. And it might be that summer camp program that you've been doing for the last 7 years, or it could be that Valentine's Day, you guys all together are making like cupcakes and stuff, whatever activities that have actually worked and has stimulated the children's brain cells and helped them grow and actually help them love coming to the daycare, right? And to the after school care. Well, you can say that those milestones, those small programs that you did, they actually worked and they were effective. So you have traction to show. Also, you can express not only from the side, the experience from the children, but also the experience from the parents. You understand? The experience from the parents, how the parents have been able to not have that pressure on them, and how the parents have actually loved some of the things in the activities that they've done, which is why they are consistently paying for the daycare. It's not because it's an affordable child care facility, but it's also because it's a quality child care facility. Okay. All right. So, Call to Rain, you said, I'm new to looking for grants. I'm starting a homeschool program and goals for a school. I need funding. Awesome. So just like I told our friend here, Red Carpet Vibe, you go for grant funding that aligns with your business mission, and also you can express exactly how your product or how your service in this matter is actually solving a problem. Okay. All right. So I have so much traction, been doing this for over 20 years. Awesome. So you're good to go. Now, if you need the websites if you need the websites to go to find grants, that can be helloskip.com and also grantwatch.com. Okay. So I'll put it here in the chat for you. Hello Skip. or Grant Watch. You can always book a one-on-one consultation with me. It's just $50. If you want to, I can bring up my picture. You can screenshot it. And if you need some more like understanding of exactly how to break down this idea, how to show traction, I'll bring up my slide as well to show you exactly what grant, like the main 5 grant questions that all grants are going to ask. So if you can answer these questions, then you are actually good to go. You can actually apply to grants yourself if you want to, or you can have me and my team apply to grants for you and take the hassle out. Okay. So yeah, yes, please. Yes, you want, okay, cool. So, let me bring it up here. So really quick before okay, here we go. Before I give you the 5 questions. So you can screenshot this really quick. If you text hashtag grants to my number, 855-731-1487, you can always, I'll send you the link to book a $50 one-on-one consultation. It's a 1-hour Zoom call that we get on. It's recorded as well. And you pretty much express to me what your challenges are, which I understand the challenge is you getting funding, but it's important that we understand exactly how to professionally organize our operations and be able to express that when we are going for funding opportunities. Okay, so make sure you screenshot this. Okay, awesome. All right, so I get this frequently asked question all the time. What are the 5 main questions that what are the questions that they're actually looking for? Well, here's it. When you are going for grants, they want to know who are you and what's the problem. So what is the problem that your clients are having or your target audience is having? Why now? So what's the traction? All right. So why is your child care facility needed right now? Why is your homeschooling needed for like now? Right. Who benefits? All right. So what's the impact? Who benefits from your service? What's the impact? And essentially homeschooling or daycare, childcare facilities, not only the children, right, they receive the impact, but also the parents too. Families are impacted. Why you? What's the credibility? Well, our friend here says they have been doing this for 20 years. That's credibility. Okay, cool. So if you are able to answer these 5 questions with some stats, with showing proof of traction, with actually showing proof that it's actually needed, you know what I mean? This product or this service you're providing is needed, then literally you're good to go. You are in the perfect position to go for grant funding. There's no reason why you shouldn't be applying to grants and getting some of this free $90 billion that get left on the table all the time. Okay, cool. All right, let's see. What other questions do you have here? So yeah, you guys can visit helloskip.com or grantwatch.com. That is the website that you can visit to find grants. Once you find a grant that serves in your favor after looking at the eligibility requirements and stuff like that, you would actually answer those like 5 questions on the grant application. You would submit the grant application online and you would give them at least 30 days to review your application and to determine if you are the best candidate. In grants, there's no 100% guarantee that you will win. It's literally may the best person win. But I'm telling you right now, it's better that you can show traction. Traction does not always mean that you are actually generating revenue. Traction means that you can actually show that your product and service is needed by having signups, pre-orders, getting surveys from the people in your local area, and actually asking them, hey, do you have this problem? How would you feel if you actually had this solution? And collecting as much data as possible, that is showing traction, right? And if you can show traction, right, or start catching sales, why not? Why not just start catching sales? Your product or service doesn't have to be perfect in order for you to catch sales. Actually, you come out better just catching sales right now and just working through it. Mark Cuban said this. I love that he said this. And this is also in that same podcast that I talked about. But he was saying that if you guys actually start focusing on receiving, like making sales, as you're making sales, you are going to go through the growing process. You are going to start to forward think, and you're going to start to think about ways that you can actually increase the quality of your services, increase the quality of your product. You're going to start to think about different ways that you can actually get this product and service in front of as many people as possible. You're going to be actually doing the business. You're going to be actually making money. And so when you are catching sales, right, that actually shows proof of traction. And it also shows proof that your product or service is needed right now. It's important that you do that. Okay. What are your fees for doing grants for us? So it's not cheap, right? It's not cheap. That's something that I usually like to go over in our one-on-one consultations, because I don't want to scare anybody. I don't want you to say, oh, she's too much, and just completely scroll off, when actually this free information I'm giving you is really good. There's a psychology behind it. I've been an entrepreneur for 10 years. So I understand how, like, sometimes my prices can scare you off. I'd rather you focus on all the free information I'm giving you now. And if that's something that you're interested in, you can book a one-on-one consultation with me. We can talk about how I can help you out in that area. I don't do a one and done. I actually have a grant writing subscription. So it is monthly. And you do have to subscribe to at least 2 months or more, right? So the people that I have in my ecosystem that actually pay monthly for my grant writing subscription, they are serious and they understand everything about grants. But if you are new to this, I'd rather educate you first. I'd rather you understand how it works first. I'd rather you thoroughly comprehend the entire process, so you don't create your own expectations of actually winning a grant because you hired me, but instead you will understand and comprehend everything that happens in the grant world. And you yourself will be motivated also to apply to grants for yourself, possibly saving yourself money. Okay. That's my logic behind it, and it works. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions that you guys might have? Awesome. Okay, good. Developing, Tamla says, what about developing a real estate nonprofit organization for women with mental illness or disability who have children? How would my LLC factor into this equation? So nonprofit or LLC, you have to choose the one. All right. Thanks so much for asking that question, Tamala, because literally it's important that you know this. LLC, when you are registering your company with the state and with the United States of America, that means when you register your company and you get a limited liability company, a S Corp or a C Corp, so an incorporation, that means you are a for-profit business in the United States. Nonprofit, that means you are a 501c3 tax exempt nonprofit organization, which means you don't take no money home. So you must first think about, do I want to make money from what I'm providing? Or do I just simply want to help? And if you say, I simply want to help, then you would still be a 501c3 nonprofit. You would file the 501c3 after you have already done the, what is it? Well, some states are different, right? So you can do like so for the state of Florida, I noticed that you would have to still do the LLC. And once you do the LLC, I think this is Texas too. Once you do the LLC, then you would actually file the 501c3 not tax exempt through the IRS. And then once you have filed that 501c3, you should not be receiving any type of profits. Like, no profits goes towards you. Every dollar goes back into your mission. Okay. So that's usually how it works. If you want to be a for-profit business, then you could just do the LLC. You don't have to do the 501c3 tax exempt through the IRS, and you'll be good to go. How do you set up the nonprofit? You do the LLC, you get the EIN, then after getting the EIN and having the LLC, you then go through getting the form through the irs.gov website, and you file the 501c3 tax exempt letter. And once you have done that, even though you have done an LLC, right? Even though you have already done the LLC, right? Once you have filed the 501c3 tax exempt, that is in the state of law. That is through Uncle Sam's house, letting them know to the IRS that you will not receive profits. And the IRS is the Internal Revenue Service, Internal Revenue Services, which means that any money that you get personally or professionally, it gets reported to that house, aka Uncle Sam's house. So when you file the 501c3 tax exempt after getting the LLC and the EIN, then it is reported that this LLC This company, this organization, right, is now officially a 501c3 nonprofit tax exempt. Okay. That's how that works. If you are going to be a for-profit business, then you don't have to file the 501c3. You can just have the LLC, the EIN number, go open up the business bank account and start making money now. Okay. And however you allocate the funds, you can do the 50-30-20 rule. I'll talk about this a lot. If you guys don't know what the 50-30-20 rule is, let me explain it to you really quick. 50% can go into payroll, 30% can go into marketing, 20% can go into as a safety net savings, or however you want to allocate it. A part of that 50%, you are working for your business. That means you receive payroll. If you are the only person that is actually working your business, congratulations, you get 50% of whatever you made that week. You pay yourself monthly, bi-weekly, or weekly. You're the business owner. 30% goes into your marketing budget. If you made $100 this week, $50 goes into your personal bank account. You can actually ACH transfer, depending on which business banks you guys have. You can actually do a payroll ACH things in-house, and you can actually pay yourself $50 for that week. $30 will actually go towards your marketing budget. And then $20 you put in your business savings. Okay, that's how that works. Yeah, I have the nonprofit organization, but not the LLC. So I don't know exactly how that works. Each state I noticed is different. I noticed that you said that you're in Connecticut, so I don't know what that means. I would highly suggest that we get on because I have more questions like how did you set this up? Let me take a look at your paperwork. Let's dive deeper into what your ultimate setup is. I think your question is more so focused on is my structure right? Is it good enough so I can go for funding? When you are a nonprofit, let me explain something to you. For all of my nonprofits out there, your nonprofit actually goes for donations. You guys actually create like luncheons and dinners, and you get all these rich people in your local area and you invite them to like a dinner or something, like a formal dinner. And what you do is you go around the room and you pitch to them and you get them to write a check before they leave. That is what nonprofits do. It's called getting sponsorships, doing collaborations, and getting donations. That is actually the main funding that you actually go for. You don't go for loans, and you don't really go. I mean, you can go for grant funding, right? Of course you can, but your main way, like your main secure way of receiving nonprofit like money is actually through all of those different ways, right? So I would always like stay focused on those top three in addition to applying to grants and stuff like that, right? So yeah, I do have more questions for you. You said, do you structure this? I can walk you through it. Like I said, every state is different. So what I would have to do on our 1 hour Zoom call is I would actually have to do the research with you. So I'll actually Google how to start a nonprofit or ChatGPT, how to start a nonprofit in Connecticut, read through that, and then go directly to the websites and actually walk through the websites and understand the platform and how to navigate through it. And then we would determine how to actually do this together. So I can walk you through it. We can go through it together. Why not? You can gain the experience in case you want to open up another nonprofit later on. Right. And you might be surprised to know that you have already done all of the steps and you actually have your nonprofit set up professionally and properly. So just keep going for funding and keep striving. It's not a thing that it's a one and done. People who have, nonprofits and also for-profit businesses, this is a never ending cycle. You will always keep going for funding. Cool. Thank you. I'll be reaching out soon. Awesome. Okay, no problem. No, I don't help with credit. That is not my lane at all. I hate debt. I love talking about grants and free money that you can get. So that's not my lane. I don't see the purpose in credit, but I don't live in the United States. I unsubscribed from all of that 4 years ago. You're welcome. Any other questions, you guys? Is it $30 to have you apply for the grant for us? No, not me. To have me apply? No, it's hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of dollars. No, not me, a 71% successful grant writer. No, at all. Nope, that's not how it works. But Gramfully is a done for you platform that you can use come December 10th, where you can click on a grant that you find using the smart filtered grant search engine, and then you can add it to your cart and pay $30. But that platform is not going to be is not available until December. Do you have any consultation bundles? Not the grant writing. So consultation bundles, as far as in like coaching, no. I used to do that, and then it wasn't effective. People would literally pay. Let's say you would pay like $1,200 to have like over 6 coachings with me. The thing is, you would take like I noticed that people wasn't prioritizing it. It was a thing where people would literally spread it out for the entire year, and that's not the idea. I don't like that. I actually hate that business model. Success loves urgency. Money loves fast-paced anything. That's how it is. So if you are paying for an entire bundle of coaching, right? And in our first coaching, I'm giving you things you need to do, and then you need to do these things. And then what happens is you'll take 90 days to do the first step that I told you to do. Why? 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 When you paid for this and you said that you wanted to do this, which means you committed because you paid for it, why are you wasting your own time? And I don't like fans. Respectfully, I don't. I like to have real conversations with people who truly want to learn, and they're not here because they're fanned out. More so, they are gaining my help or my expertise or my advice or my coaching or my education simply because they are looking for this and they truly want to move forward. I'm not looking for fans. And I'm also not looking for people who just kind of want to start and then like you want to do the whole first, like the workout thing with me, where at the beginning of the year, the first 30 days of the year, you want to start working out super hard and think that's supposed to be good enough for the rest 11 months of the year. No, that's not how it works. I have people that have been with me for 5 years, and they book these $50 consultations with me all the time whenever they feel like they need me. It's literally pay as you go. I do that, and I have that business model because I don't want to put that pressure on you. And I also notice that, yes, when you are speaking to me, some people do feel convicted and they feel like this is too much pressure on me. And yeah, I know I pay for this, but I don't think I'm ready for her yet. When really you're actually ready, and that conviction that you feel, you actually have to work through it. It's called growing pains, and say, okay, you know what? Cool. I might not know what I might not know what it is. I don't know what's on the other side, but I'm willing to work with her. And everything she's telling me to do, I'm going to do it. But you have some people that actually drop the ball on the way of the coaching. And it's like, I've even had like clients, they had to go through, they could have won $30,000 in grant funding. All they had to do is do 6 weeks worth of training and coaching, and they didn't even finish the last 2 weeks, or they didn't finish, or they wouldn't show up, or they would reschedule and reschedule and reschedule. No, life will always life. And especially when you are aligning your destiny with the destiny that God has for you, there's always going to be something that is trying to stop you from being able to be the best version of yourself. Period. Rather spiritual or physical, is going to be like that. So you must always know that you have to persevere and prioritize exactly what your idea is and what your dreams and goals are. If your mission is to help these people, if your mission is to provide care, if your mission is to do this for other people, you must always prioritize that and move with that type of energy. Yes, you got into a car accident, but catch a lift and get to your child care facility. You'll handle that later. Call Enterprise, call Geico, let them know, look, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know what I mean? And keep it pushing. Yes, somebody passed away. My condolences to you, but that's the circle of life. Get through your 7 days of grief, but don't let it get to over 14 days. We're not doing 21 days of grief. We're not doing 30 days of grief. We're not doing that, because the people that unfortunately you have lost would have wanted you to be the best version of yourself. Life is always going to life. Yes, you went through a divorce. Yes, that person betrayed you. Yes, you feel, yes, they did all of that. But guess what? The red flags was there. most likely before the relationship, or the red flags was coming up throughout the entire relationship. But guess what? Now that you're definitely not in this relationship and you don't have a partner anymore to help split the bills or whatever the case, financial things you had set up, now you have to be even more motivated to prioritize being an entrepreneur now. Use that hurt and pain and put pressure on actually like making everything shake. You know what I mean? Like literally becoming the best version of yourself. Because you could tell yourself who you was in that relationship, you're not going to be that person no more. Whoever they thought they knew, they don't know this new person now. Life is always going to life. But what makes entrepreneurs successful and what makes entrepreneurs become millionaires is actually prioritizing their businesses and also allowing them to, also like micromanaging their businesses, finding different ways. How can I do better? How can I be better? How can I provide better? How can I be more impactful? That is what makes these people so like, how can I do collaborations with different people? I want to let me reach out to this person. Let me reach out to this creator. Let me try to collaborate with this person. Let me have a conversation with them. Let me see if they'll teach me a little bit about if you don't ask, a closed mouth don't get fed. This is true. Okay, frame. That's all y'all saying. Yeah, I would feel like I would benefit from your services. I'm booking a call today. Do I book the call through Grantfully also? No, you just visit the superchargemybusiness.com. And thanks so much, Red Carpet Vibe, for sending me a thing, a jewel. I appreciate it. So yeah, superchargemybusiness.com. Book a grant call through there. It's $50. Alexander says pressure creates diamonds. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is true. That is facts, actually. Let's see. That's how I feel. Just was just telling my husband this. Yeah, it will always, there's always going to be something. Right? It's always going to be something. Call to Rain says, where can I book the call? I'm going to bring up the thing again so you can screenshot it. I'm healing from being a people pleaser. Yeah, that's not good either. You can bring it up once you visit. Okay. You guys want me to show you on my laptop of how to book a call with me? But so here, you can screenshot this. So we are about to get off of this. I said 15 minutes, like literally 30 minutes ago or 45 minutes ago. But no, literally, seriously, in 10 minutes, I'm going to get off here. I've been on here for almost like 3 hours, which is crazy. But I've had such a really great time with you guys. So yeah, I want us to wrap up now. I hope you guys have had like gotten a really great lesson out of this thing. I have some studying I have to do. I have to like read my books and write some things down and do all kind of stuff. You've been great. Thank you. Awesome. You are awesome as well. Found it. Okay, good. All right, cool. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you guys for being here. I really do. You being here means that you are actually searching for that answer, right? And you sticking with me, especially if you've been with me for these last 3 hours. Shout out to you. Like that means you are actually in a point of you sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same cycle you've been in. Sometimes you got to sit with yourself and actually start telling yourself and look at like what you have done. Like this is the reflection time. We're in November. The year 2025 is over. So it's the time for you to sit down and reflect on like, what have I actually done? What worked? And what didn't work? And how am I going to do better in 2026? And matter of fact, let me start building myself now and getting that traction now that I need so I can prepare myself and kickstart 2026. Okay. I'm going to be back on here tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. So you guys are more than welcome to make sure you subscribe so that way and turn on push notifications so that way you won't miss out on the notification of when I'm on live tomorrow. Join the Grantfully funding community. Get the free grant writing checklist by visiting grantfully.org. Download the free grant writing checklist and you can start receiving 5 grants every week in your email that you can apply to and join our free webinars every week. Also, You can have a list of things that you need to have before you go for grants, and have, like, the ability to reach out to me and everybody a part of the team and actually get some help in winning some grant funding opportunities. Yeah, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, peace and blessings. Thanks so much for being here, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye for now.